listening to the Dad Podcast.
Let's get started.
Fuck those little kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Manhole's hot today, fellas.
The what?
The manhole?
Oh, yeah. It's a steamy pile of shit today.
Yeah, it's moist. Some would say dank and dingy.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just glad we picked the hottest day of the year to do this, guys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With a swamp cooler.
And we
circulating hot
appreciate
air.
you making sure that it was good and steamy in here when we got here.
I work hard for this, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to give a shout out to Mitch, though. He dropped that shit off on the porch. And
Literally, I get home and it's just there
boom. That's what I told
on
him
my
to do.
porch.
That's what
Where'd
I
you
asked
want it
that.
to be?
That's what I asked that motherfucker to do.
Back here and plugged in and ready to go.
So did we.
Oh,
But that
see,
didn't happen, did it?
I didn't fucking
On any
translate that
sense.
information.
So we're going?
Oh, we're going.
Oh, we're going.
Folks,
Shit.
are we live?
Okay.
We're live.
Oh, my God.
Well, as we're starting, this is Dad Podcast number 8, everybody, and we're real excited about this.
Woo! Welcome.
Dude.
To the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Thunderdome,
Bitch.
bitches.
Yeah. Marcus, did you have something you wanted to say?
Hell yeah, I do. I got a lot of stuff I want to say.
We start the fucking parade with
We're going to start with an
All right, I'm down.
because I want people to, get excited.
You want it to feel real?
The listener, yeah, I want the
Oh,
listeners to have an
thank you,
opportunity
Donnie.
to finish up whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So I provide a couple of
Okay, yeah.
to give them a second to sit down.
Oh, well, you got to warm up, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
exactly.
I do too. I got to warm up the vocal cords.
And let's give a shout out to our main listeners, Donnie's whole family.
What's up?
All 5 of them.
All 5 of them.
Yeah.
We fucking love all you guys. There's probably like 80 of you guys, but we love you.
Yeah, we love everybody that listens.
If
There's
my
only 5
family's
I count.
listening by now, we fucking love you.
Yep.
If we don't know you, we'd love you.
Future
Even
listeners,
more.
we love you. We always start these things out very
Obscure.
no, not obscure. Like last time we addressed it too. Like we started out very
Horny.
No, just hippie, kind of like very
Horny.
very sweet. And then it ends
Oh,
up
yeah,
Shut the
because
fuck
Tyler
up.
was going all
Yeah,
hippie
yeah.
peace love on
exactly.
us.
Like, oh man, just Birkenstocks brothers.
Well, hey,
And then
I didn't pick the tapestry next to the fucking table, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. We're
Don't
just
talk
feeding
about
off
my
that
tapestry.
energy.
Namaste.
I definitely want to start off by talking about some feedback that we've got. Good feedback from Baby Mama.
Oh,
Yeah.
he has baby mama listeners.
Shout out to Sophia, Baby Mama. She
Hey,
she
Sophia.
got hey, what's up, Sophia? If you're listening,
Thank you.
she loved the drawing that Carter made. She got such a kick out of me standing on a box on that drawing. She got such a kick out of that. That was her first thing. She goes, "Are you standing on a box?" I'm like, "Yeah," because I'm short, and they wanted to really point that out. And I'm the shortest member of this Dad Bod cast.
Is that proven fact, though?
I mean, we haven't gone side by side. I mean, just
Yeah, I don't think me and you have.
no.
I'd bet it is, though, I guess.
Here's the deal. I'm not ashamed of my shortness, and
You're vertically challenged.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm vertically challenged to a certain degree, but in the same sense, I walk around like I'm 10 feet tall, and that's all that really fucking matters. And I get the job goddamn done.
Exactly.
So, but no, some of that feedback that was really good. I got a really big kick out of that. So, shout out to Sophia. Another one from my sister who did
Shit,
address.
He's putting the word out for us?
Yeah,
Spreading us around.
Melanie, if you're listening, I know she's going to listen to this again. She got a really big kick out of it as well. She loves the dynamic. She addressed the burping.
Thank you.
Exactly. I was, the thing is
We were going to get into it. He wasn't kidding.
As soon as we have video to corroborate.
Corroborate. Yeah.
Corroborate us.
Well, wait.
We're drinking.
Say the definition, actually, of what you mean.
To show what's going on.
Corroborate
Corroborate,
to
then.
basically,
Yeah.
to show what's going on, that we're drinking this whole time, and you know what I mean, and well, not the whole time. I don't want it to sound like that. Anyway, so we're drinking beers
The whole time. The whole time.
Yeah,
Tyler's drinking the whole time for all the listeners.
yeah, and he has a hard time.
Matter of
maintaining
fact,
his gas.
I'm going to tune out for 3 seconds
Yeah.
while I take
Not
a
only
drink.
is he proud of his gas, but he loves for the listeners to be fully aware of it as well. So
I just
she
wanted to
mentioned
feel
that.
real for you guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Donnie,
Yo,
do you want to let everyone know what this episode is going to be based around?
Ooh, this is my favorite.
my
'Cause
balls.
this is going to be our favorite.
My wife.
Oh,
They're the size of a planet.
Oh, good thing, because I actually have more notes on your balls than whatever else we had planned.
Yeah. I have a lot of notes on your balls.
That one's for you, James. Just so you know, James and Josh. The
Jimmy-Bob.
The homoerotica.
It is not going to be about you either. I was telling my brother we were excited about this episode. He's like, oh, yeah, what's it about? I was like, it's about you and how much of a dipshit you are. He goes, oh, you'll have plenty to talk about then.
The whole podcast worth.
Yeah. Fuck, 3 episodes deep.
Especially if you meet him.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. I'm over here talking shit. I've never about that.
Oh, no, talk shit. It's
Oh,
cool.
yeah, he's fine.
Well, it's just going to be general shit, okay? It's not going to be like specific shit because I don't have any.
I can text you over some really quick?
Please. Yeah, just show me a couple pictures and I'll just riff on that.
I can also do that.
Tyler, what was your first impression of him?
My first impression of Jimmy Bob?
Yeah.
I thought he was older than you.
Okay. Everybody does. He looks older, yeah.
You got a
And
young face, Donny.
I swear to God, that mustache he was rocking, he was half Mexi.
He did look Hispanic.
Not that there's nothing wrong with it, but
Oh.
he definitely looked
Well, you brought it
Mexican.
up, so you okay.
That was my first impression.
Okay.
If you want me to be honest,
I did. That's why I asked.
what
I
was
wanted
your first
honesty.
impression of your brother?
Put him back in.
Yeah.
in.
You should have aborted this guy.
I wanted his sister.
I'm related to this?
What an asshole. You have a sister.
I said we start off with Kusi over here.
Yeah?
But wait, what are we talking about? You have
But
to let him know.
Yeah,
My balls. I already said
God
this.
damn
right,
it.
Right. I got a bunch of content that way. Also,
Exactly.
though, I'm really this podcast in particular. I'm excited about because of the topics. So we loosely discussed it at the end of the last one. I don't think any of that was recorded. No, right? We didn't.
No,
record
it
that.
was after
yeah,
our tech guy here hit end.
yeah. That's okay.
Essentially, though, we landed on 3 specific topics.
Let's
and we were each going to take one, right?
Very Pacific
Yeah.
topics.
Okay, very Pacific.
Not to be,
Yeah.
confused with the
And
Pacific Ocean.
we all
Right.
we all precipitated in this.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Lots of precipitation.
We deliberated.
So what, Donnie? You took a paranormal,
Oh,
if
yeah.
I'm not wrong,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, and
Donnie
and
got
Marcus,
paranormal.
you
And
had
aliens,
aliens, okay, and I took multiverse
multiverse, and ghosts.
and ghosts,
Paranormal. I mean,
Spirits,
dead,
yeah,
dead
yeah.
spirits,
Paranormal. That's exciting.
and I think it's all going to intertwine one day,
Bodiless souls.
We're going to lose every single listener that we've developed to this point.
Right.
which is fine.
Exactly. Yeah.
And we can
I'm not
recreate
having a
our
good time. Exactly.
We're 16
Aliens could
in.
have
It's-
dad bods.
Yeah.
We don't know.
That's it. No, they
Exactly.
do. Well, what's
Yeah.
an alien?
I don't know.
Anything that's not from Earth.
That's
So,
true, yes.
somebody from another multiverse.
A
an alien.
Well, exactly. See, that's
because they're not from Earth.
Well, here's the deal. Are we jumping into it?
Yeah.
kind of. Well,
it my
me and
turn?
Donnie had this talk
Are we
earlier.
riffing
I want
still?
to say this first.
Are we going to riff a little bit, or are we going to...
A little bit, yes.
Okay.
But so me and Donnie talked earlier, and he was like, "I think we're gonna have a slight problem turning each into each."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yes and no," because I think multiverse and aliens will play well,
Yeah.
and I think multiverse and paranormal will play well.
Yeah.
But aliens and paranormal, we're gonna have fun with here. I think.
Yeah, I agree.
Aliens could have ghosts.
But oh my god, actually,
Aliens
though.
are haunted,
Bro,
too.
oh my god, actually though, that just blew my mind. I never
Yeah.
even thought
Ghost
about
lives
that.
matter.
Ghost lives
That's
matter.
right. That's where we're going with that
And we're
one.
not,
Alien
yeah,
ghost
we're not
lives
going to
matter.
not uncover all of the
Oh my god,
hypocrisy that ghosts have to
extraterrestrial
deal with.
paranormal lives matter.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. Okay.
It's a sensitive issue, but we're gonna talk about it.
Well,
Because
then you're first, I guess.
We're not scared of any topic.
Well, I'm pretty sure, if you look at the definition, alien is just anything that's
It's not from where you
not
are
from here.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, anybody who's not from the United States is counted as an alien.
Yeah.
Only if you live in the
Oh,
United
yeah.
States, though.
Well, that-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Only if you're from here.
So there's so much that we can consider alien. But I
So
think we're
technically,
going
we should all live on the basis we're Earthlings, right? We're all
yeah,
from
we're going
Earth.
like X-Files type alien.
Yeah.
Not.
Not the Mexicans.
Thank you. Thank you.
But
What wall? I never said anything about a wall.
But if you're not, let's say, if you're not into like extraterrestrial, whatever else not, then that's an easy segue because everybody's heard of, illegal aliens or whatever the case may be. But since it's my particular topic, and if I were to go, let's go.
Well, we all have to say we believe in aliens, yes or no.
Well, or you could just go with, hey, do you believe in there's other life forms other than Earth? Right? You
Yes.
think there's other planets out there that has life forms on it?
100%.
Oh, are you asking me?
I'm asking you,
specifically?
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Well, yeah, we have to
100%.
clear
I'm
that.
not making
Yeah,
eye
yeah.
contact because
Yes.
you're pretty.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you're like generally
That's why I'm
like
looking.
speaking to the audience or speaking to the
Yeah.
listeners or what have you.
To the three of us.
Oh,
which
this
I
is
do
amongst
believe, yeah,
ourselves
okay.
here, yeah.
Okay.
This isn't for anybody
no,
else at this point.
100%, 100%. I mean, it's
Agreed. Donnie?
Oh, yeah.
It's
100%.
interesting too
cool.
because when I was inebriated, on purpose, I was inebriated and intoxicated on multiple different substances.
Yes.
I listen to, things that,
Things you couldn't normally tune into.
well, yeah, because I really feel, like I listen to some different podcasts and things
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
okay.
I listen to different podcasts and things and if it clicks with me, if it kind of sounds like it has any kind of,
Substance.
legitimate, like legitimate background, then anyway, so for starters, if we're just going to go right into extraterrestrial,
Uh-huh.
is that better?
Yeah.
Extraterrestrial,
It was me. Extra terrestrial.
right?
Yeah.
Supranatural.
Well, let's just start with the fact that
Triple extra.
everybody not okay. So if we were to go like on the surface, on the tip of the iceberg, illegal aliens or whatever else, not going from country to country.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is every single human being on this earth is an alien.
Yes.
So if you were
That's
to
fair.
really kind of deep dive into anybody that has some scientific research or anything like that, we are all embedded with genetic code.
Would you say?
Nerd.
Would you say one
I love it.
one maybe species or race of alien, or multiple different aliens came here and
Oh, so multiple.
That's what I think too, because
So
I
much
couldn't
multiple.
place it on one because their culture's so different everywhere, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
And it stems from somewhere, right?
Right.
I don't know.
No, well, exactly. But that's, rather than kind of taking the approach that everybody does where there's always kind of like that question mark at the end of the sentence or or at the end of the, no, but bottom line is we're all embedded with genetic coding, and that would imply that came from another life force or another energy or something like that was responsible for creating the life species or the forms that we are currently.
Yeah.
Going into from everything that I've listened to, and then there again, I like to get myself in a really open-minded place, however I get there. But when I listen to these different things, going back as far as like research and things like that go.
Well, first of all, what is your belief based off of? Experience or just belief? Or just open-mindedness and knowing maybe?
I would say all the above. All the
Okay,
above. And
okay.
a really cool thing that I kind of came up with myself with the last podcast that I was listening to. I'm not necessarily going to name drop because
Yeah.
I don't know the legality of it. But anyway, so a podcast that I was listening to, and they were discussing the most recent research and developments in the way of like discovering aliens. Okay, so. But one thing that is also on the surface is like, the Pentagon, for instance, has just fully acknowledged the existence of UFOs.
Well, yes.
Well, not like, yes. I mean, like everybody, but to have, so this is my theory.
More than knowledge, but experience at this point.
Well, here's my theory on the whole thing.
Okay.
So, how am I going to position this?
The
Hold
Pentagon
on.
Okay.
Give me a second here. So here's the deal. So when you want to keep something under wraps, right? Let's say for instance, like the Pentagon, the CIA, the FBI, whatever else not, right? And they're, and things like Bob Lazar and
with you
stuff
so
like
far,
that. I'm going to name
100%.
drop that because
Yeah.
he is so thorough and he is so objective. He's not looking for any kind of notoriety or anything like that. So
Well, he almost doesn't even want to speak most of the time.
yeah, no, it really seems to be it truly impacts him and it affects him, more in a negative sense than it doesn't even a positive, just because there's no resolution on it and he's but anyway, so here's my theory. Here's my theory after listening to the most recent research or the most documentation, whatever else not. So the Pentagon and these higher up,
Let's call them
officials, right, are acknowledging that UFOs are real. And okay, so I'm just going to land my plane and I'm going to say what my theory is.
Okay.
Is the fact that if they are now, like, public knowledge going to...
when they're comfortable with letting us know.
And that's what we think.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we think,
exactly.
Right? But the reality is if I can't figure out a particular problem on my own, right? And this is one thing that I haven't heard addressed or even communicated on any of the podcasts or
Cool.
anything
I'd
that
like
I've
to hear
heard.
this then. You
Thus
heard it here
far.
first, folks.
Yeah. You heard it from Marcus here first. So, when I have a problem and I want to come up with a solution on my own, right? Like I want to come up with a solution on my own because then I get all the credit for it, right? but god damn it, I can't do it. I don't have the fundamental capabilities. I don't know the definition of gravity. I don't think anybody really does. There's nothing that's clear cut that is like this point A to point B. This is how we got here. This is what has helped us get here. Anyway, so let's say, for instance, if I'm the only one that has this equation or this problem in front of me, and I'm trying to figure out the solution to it, but god damn it, I can't do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to people around me, right? I'm going to reach out to my friends. I'm going to reach out to you, Tyler. I'm going to reach out to you, Donny. And I'm going to say, hey, look, I have this particular problem. I've seen different things in the sky. I've seen different things. I've felt different things. I you know what I mean? I've
experienced it.
I could really use some additional knowledge. I could use your help here. So on a grand scheme of things, right?
Yeah.
So for years and years and years and years, Area 51, people have kept all of this information under wraps. They're trying to come up with a solution and trying to position this to where we can, let's say, quote unquote, handle it, because we're just human. Like, so our simple brains can handle this, like this amount of information. That's kind of like how I've thought of it up to this point. But bottom line is, I think that nobody in any position of power, government-wise, or all the most intelligent people, so we've met our capacity. So when you meet your capacity, they're reaching out rather than being like, okay, we're going to throw civilians and society a bone. And just say,
I see where you're circling to.
See where I'm going with this?
I see exactly where you're circling to.
The only thing I haven't heard is bottom line is they're going to position it that they're being like, okay, finally we're going to acknowledge that everybody has seen a UFO. There's so many documentation things for hundreds of years.
Yeah.
Or going all the way back to like it's inscribed on brick walls, right? You know what I mean? Like, you know, there's hieroglyphs or whatever.
And now we need your information.
And bingo.
Yeah.
So now, because we have not been able to come up with a solution, we're going to position it like we're throwing you a bone, when in reality, can we all just come together outside of our, can we all come together and create a solution? Because guess what I think? I think that there is a legitimate threat in front of us, and it could just be something very... it could just coincide with, let's say, the pandemic. It could coincide with...
Extraterrestrial threat?
Correct.
Are we talking alien? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I have something to say about that in a second. I want to hear
with
this,
the most recent things, let's say, with even like the mushroom cloud bomb that was just dropped in, in you know what I mean? I'm going to tie in different things where people that are familiar with extraterrestrial and really knowledgeable and really intelligent, like hyper intelligent on the topic.
Not just theories and thoughts. Yeah.
Exactly. So now there's a legitimate concern that civilians are in jeopardy. Like, let's say, for instance, if this was a science project.
Wait.
Hold on. I know. I'll try to stop myself from rambling. But there's really like something that I want to say.
I just want to know the threat. What's the threat?
And that information isn't afforded to anybody. It never has been. It never has been. But there are absolutely different things where, you know what I mean? Like there's documented evidence of lights in the sky, and there's also, there's different things, and there's different like observatory sort of things that extraterrestrial situations.
Well, there's
right?
definitely entire areas that people aren't allowed to go to that are known for fucking alien activity and alien testing and alien, harvesting and whatnot, right?
Correct. And let's say, for instance, let's throw these things out there. Let's say, for instance, that humankind as a whole is a science experiment, right?
Oh, of course, yeah.
Okay. So what we've done.
That's what I wanted to lead it to here. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. So what we've done is we've literally worked ourselves into creating the ability to eliminate ourselves. So once we've done that, there's a particular bombing system. There's like an atom bomb. There's a bombing system. I think it's out of Russia actually, and there's documented evidence that a particular a bomb. Okay, a bomb that we created that could literally destroy hundreds of thousands of lives.
Because why wouldn't anyone make that, right?
There was a light in the sky. It got activated. Nobody touched that button. Okay, it got activated. It was literally everything but pushing the button to actually just execute this particular bomb, and then it shuts off and the light in the sky goes away. So let's say, for instance, if we are a science experiment as mankind, and we have got to the point where we have actually kind of got to the point where now we're creating not just bombs, but we're creating viruses. We are creating so many different things that could just basically dissolve humanity. And they're like, okay, we're getting closer to, let's say, necessarily where aliens or, you know, extraterrestrial aliens are, they've kind of groomed us to this point, and we've done a hell of a job destroying ourselves.
See, I think this is where I want to come in with my thing is they I would say less groomed us, but in the beginning, right, they prepared us, gave us what we needed, but now we've delved so down that I don't think we're a threat. I think, okay, would you say as an existence on a scale 1 to 10, what are we?
10.
Really?
100%.
Oh, see, I'm gonna give us like a 4, bro.
To who? So let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. On a destruction scale of 1 to 10, and I think that's what we're talking about, correct?
No.
Okay, so I'm sorry.
What's
the scale?
How advanced and how much we should have figured out at this point, and how much I don't know.
I would say the whole world doesn't have the same abilities to destroy there's enough of the world with the knowledge to destroy the whole world. Let's say between America, Russia, China, you know, those three
See,
examples.
that's where the problem lies, though. We're still America, Russia,
Hold on a second.
China.
Hold on a second. So those three examples right there have the ability to destroy the whole world. So maybe every you know, there's a lot of parts around the world where they're very kind of indigenous and kind of, you know, and they're still, you know, I mean, they're still, you know, working with understanding or accepting different advancements like electricity or really, you know what I mean? There's different advancements that cultures are not,
but we'll see,
are not, you know what I mean? It's not familiar to them, but there's enough of the world that could destroy the whole world, and those different things I think are communicated.
I'll take it as simple as if we all started calling ourselves Earthlings, maybe, or whatever, would we maybe be recognized or accepted by not a higher power, or if we all, I mean, we're way too separated to even be fucking looked at as any kind of threat or any kind of a threat in what? You know what I mean?
Well, we currently as Americans.
Donnie, where are you at?
Hold on,
I'm here. I'm listening. I didn't want to be told. I didn't want to
be
be told to hush up. So
yeah. Well, and I think we all need, because we all have our separate topics.
Jumping.
No. We all have our separate topics. So I think, you know.
Fair. I didn't think about that.
We'll pass the mic as we go along.
That's a lot of pressure on Tyler over on this corner.
But and I think that's where it's going. You know what I mean? I'm gonna throw the ball to you here in a minute. But the thing is,
where are your notes? You haven't looked at them once. I like it.
When it's my, I do have something that'll lead into his.
Okay.
On yours, that's going to lead into his topic.
Yeah.
When we get there.
Yeah, and I think simply, you know, without doing, you know, I think for me and like what you're discussing, Tyler, and what I'm really trying to stay away from is the theoretical, the hypothesis and the different things,
which is what my last
that are so discussed and so overly discussed. What I'm really trying to do is just speak directly to specific
Well, what
things.
you want to know. You want to figure out what you want to know. Like you said in the beginning, you have the information you have, and you want our information.
And you know, and one thing that I thought, you know, and I guess the biggest thing for me, and I did make notes on it, but I don't really, because it's really on the forefront of my mind.
Yeah.
So I'm not really referring to it, but ultimately, what I don't hear a lot of from a lot of very intelligent, you know, people. Researchers and scientists and things like that, is the possibility, you know, that basically what the government's doing, what the government has really done, and I think it's really
weird. And there is
weird.
a world government actually, so
yeah, and I
right
think what's really interesting is how it ties in with. As Americans right now, we've never been in a position where we are so divided and we are so destructive and we are so misled as to what is important and as as a human being. But
I totally interrupted you then. I'm sorry.
But I think one thing that ties into that and it's so you know, it gets us to think in other ways when the reality is as one human being, as one humankind, right? Okay, so let's say, for instance, if we're all on
Information
this,
should be everything.
absolutely.
Yes.
And I think what the government and the people in power are starting to identify with, and they're positioning it as like they're throwing us a bone. They're finding like, okay, you guys have seen these different things. These these pilots who have said, I've seen, it's documented proof that there's UFOs.
I'm pretty
and
sure I've seen
extraterrestrial-
all the documents and everything you've watched. I'm pretty sure I've seen the same stuff. So I'm on page with you here.
Okay, cool. So, and I think most of society has, because now with internet and things like that, you would have to literally be living under a rock to not be somewhat curious or informed on UFOs or extraterrestrial life. So, but
If not your own personal proof.
yeah, and I think basically what my biggest thing, or the most specific thing that I think theory, hypothesis that I can come up with is coinciding with everything that we're dealing with as a society right now, and how we're so divided as a humankind, is the fact that rather than the CIA or the Pentagon or the government acknowledging what we're dealing with, they're literally looking to us to come up with the solution, okay? And the solution very well may be that we just pump the fucking brakes and stop killing each other and stop yelling at,
Yes.
that could simply
Preach,
be
brother.
the answer.
Preach, brother.
But the reality is who knows that the solution is not there yet. But what I think is we're making steps because the government is acknowledging that they can't come up with the solutions. Therefore, they're lobbing us. They're you know what I mean. They're throwing us a fucking Hail Mary, and they're being like, "Hey, society, help us with this because there is some real exponential threat that we're dealing with."
Well, with everything we've just said, what would you still rate us as
10.
Still?
100% 10. Oh my God! If we don't kill ourselves, if we don't kill each other,
But why is that progress?
Let's say,
Why
let's
is
say,
that?
for
Why
instance,
is that
because
unity? Or I don't even know. I don't know. Why is that good? I guess.
And
you know what
I
mean?
never
How's
said
that
it
a
was
10?
good, and I
How's
never
that a 10?
a 10 in my mind. So I guess I'm looking at there again. I'm going to go back to the whole like science
Because
project.
that shouldn't be even a goal in the first place, right? We shouldn't
Buddy,
even
we've done it without it ever being a conscious goal, without it ever being a conscious thought. We've created bond. We've created ways for us to demolish ourselves.
You're exactly right on that. But like, it was never the goal.
Regardless of what the goal is, as a science experiment, if you follow the clues and if you follow the path, you come to a particular place in your hypothesis, in your science, your mini science experiments to come up with the grand solution. Is that they could literally just be watching us.
Yes.
And being like, if they don't destroy themselves, like this could solely be because we don't know.
All right.
We don't know where we're at.
I see you.
We don't know where we're at because if time is all relative, we don't know if it's going to be another 1,000 years.
But they should know where we're at, right?
100%. But we are not privy to that information. But what we are privy to is the fact that our government is now being like, hey, we acknowledge this because right now, rather than just being like, okay, all right, you guys are right. That's not what it's about. We've never been right. It's like, can you imagine Donald Trump ever saying that Americans are right? Never.
Yeah.
But what he will do is give us these certain little things and allow us to kind of come up with our own solution. So that's where I think we're at, extraterrestrial life-wise, or aliens and everything else. Not because we all know here in this manhole that those things are real. So what I think, my theory is, and one thing that I haven't heard from these scientists or anything, is we need collectively, if we can do it, work together to come up with a solution. Now, is that ever going to be, is that probable? No.
No, that's took the words right out of my mouth, man.
Well, I don't think we're in a position, because nobody's talking about it, that we are responsible for coming up with our own solution, and now the government is saying that we have exhausted our mental capacity and our equations.
I like the word.
And our mathematics.
That's got to take it to a 9,
skills.
right? Exhausted.
Well, I mean, I just think that as a society, everybody's has exhausted their mental resources to figure out, Bob Lazar, for instance, who came out with this very, very factual, he was like, I don't know what I'm seeing, but this is what it looks like I'm seeing, and now these things are being
He's like,
manifested.
from what I know and from what I was trained to know, this is what I knew.
Bingo.
And saw, yeah.
And he's a very highly intelligent person.
Yeah.
He's documented regardless of how they try to erase his public information, he's documented
More than that, but yeah, for sure.
by local news sources to build his own rockets and things. There's a reason why they reached out to him to be a part of this facility and do the research that he's done.
That also circles back to how they're throwing us a bone type deal, though, is that's what they did in the first place. We need scientists. We need the best. We need to bring them all in, and then they put them on this secret shit. And
can you imagine if every
think?
single scientist has collectively got together and said, "We have no fucking idea."
Well, see,
where to go from here?
They're all under a thumb, though.
It's
a job, right?
What if a couple of people out there who are under the radar? And could honestly, like somebody like Bob Lazar. So at one point in the 70s, when it was almost kind of like socially acceptable to kind of reach out and kind of like, they reached out to him and they said, "Hey, will you be a part of this science project?" Right? And he goes, "Yeah, for sure. You know what I mean? You pay me the right price, and it sounds exciting."
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So we've come so far from that. We've come so far from that society. Society is so unable to be like, "Hey, I need help."
Yeah.
So rather than being like government being like, "Hey, we need help," they're going to say, "You guys were right, but we still hold all the cards," which they had no fucking cards. They have no idea. If they had any idea what we're dealing with, then they would have already come out with some kind of like systematic approach to it. And this is what we need to do to keep ourselves from being demolished from extraterrestrials. Or we come up with a solution.
I don't want to say you're wrong, but how is that not bringing your opinion down less than a 10, bro?
Well, and I guess I want to be clear. What is your scale? What is this whole 1 to 10 thing?
How Donny?
No, Donny. Tyler.
I'm thinking that he's putting it that like if.
No. I'm sorry, Donny.
I've tried. I've tried. I don't know.
No.
Okay, let's see.
I want you to articulate what you're trying to say. What is your scale of 1 to 10?
How?
A simple question.
1 to 10. How togetherly advanced we should be, and how. Okay, that's Make the face, bro. We need the cameras.
Sorry. Yeah. Go.
We need. Why aren't we all working together way past the point than what you're saying right now?
That's your 1 to 10. That's a question you're asking.
Kind of.
Okay.
Like.
Because
I don't know.
To me, it's somewhat of a simple answer. So 1
I
to
guess
10,
I'm going more off of a weird feeling.
Okay.
I'm like on my hippie shit, bro.
Well, here's the thing: is instincts are absolutely very real. Like when you catch something out of the corner of your eye, and we're going to get there with you guys on these different topics. Same thing with aliens, or same things with like cryptids, or any of these other things that you see in the forest or whatever.
I guess the back thought to it. So aliens, right? They're an advanced species, right?
Allegedly.
Or the ones that could have the information on us, or preceded us, or did whatever with us, or that are watching us, or whatever.
All the above.
All of that.
Mm-hmm.
So they're obviously smarter, but they couldn't. I don't think they could do it working against each other as much as we do. They like the race itself, or whatever it may be, has to be more defined as one. And I don't know.
I would pose something else. So I would say that there is multiple layers to paranormal, extraterrestrial.
Okay.
So I would say that they're on the surface. We have the aliens that we can see and that are documented, right?
Okay. Well,
and then
touche, actually, yes.
Yeah. So and then we work ourselves up to let's just use different terminology like zeitgeist, right?
Well, or multiverse.
So we go from extraterrestrial to zeitgeist, and then we go from zeitgeist to matrix, and then we go from matrix to multiverse.
Yes.
God bless. So that we have like an onion, right? We're peeling back layers, and we can see the surface level of things. But ultimately, I absolutely 100% believe that there is extraterrestrials competing and battling against each other that are under the radar.
But they're tens, though. You know what I mean? They are tens.
Tens in what
is a
10?
As a race and how much they've advanced, or as a plant. You know, the scale I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
They're a 10. We barely scratched the surface of anything.
As far as technology, if they were to attack us,
gone.
Dominate the shit out of us.
You think so?
Yes, I guarantee.
For sure.
It.
How do you guarantee it?
Because we're a bunch of fucking idiots.
Well, here's the deal.
If they can come from the skies in space,
right, we're not going to come together and be able to take down somebody else.
But with such
Boom.
certainty, I'm
Boom.
gonna ask you for some documented evidence of that.
Look at what's going on.
What?
We can't be together and support each other.
Everyone holds different weapons.
So
Well, that's what
soon
I'm
as-
saying.
as soon
I
as
was saying
somebody
that
comes
they're
to attack
watching
us-
us destroy ourselves.
That's what I'm saying. Say they come down to attack
But I don't think
us.
that they could come through here and just annihilate us. I mean, I don't know. I don't
think
know.
they
See, that's where I'm with Donnie. I disagree on that.
I fully
Sure.
think
if
they
they
Yeah.
can survey us and if they can come from the skies
Yeah.
in shit that made it here,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
They definitely have the technology to do whatever they need or want to do.
And I guess in efforts of not saying the exact same things that a lot of scientists and a lot of people say, which I hear that, you guys say that with such
Well, that's
certainty.
fair. You did wanna
I would-
take a
I
left
would-
turn. You're
I would
right.
challenge you guys to come up with some specifics and or a documented evidence of what you just said, which is like or extraterrestrial coming through here with the knowledge and capabilities of just wiping out human race.
Well, but that's where it all circles back. That's not the goal. That shouldn't be anyone's, whether they're a 10 in my scale, as I say, or not. If they were, that's not the goal, right?
Yeah, sure.
The goal is to maybe conquer at the worst,
Yeah.
or to integrate at the fucking least.
Nice. Okay.
But I just think we're not as caught up as we
Sure.
could be. But see, that's where it ties into the multiverse. Like, it's all different vibrations. There's definitely
is that a really organic way to get over to? Let's do it.
well, ish, yes and no, but like, okay, I guess so. Yes.
Let's do
so
it.
I
Let's go
would
to
say
multiverse.
multiverse. So there's no
Pass
way
the baton.
there wouldn't be a multiverse. Okay, Donnie.
Well, I was gonna go to lead into Tyler.
Let's give
was-
Donnie 25 minutes on this real
Oh,
quick.
I don't need
there you go.
25 minutes.
Yeah. But let's make an organic segue into
Yeah.
the next topic.
To go into like us, like I know it's just in movies, comic books, shows, whatever. We even think that we are the most inferior race out there.
For sure.
As a
Totally.
people.
Yeah.
For
You
sure.
look at-
Unfortunately.
you look at like one of my favorite superhero comic books,
That
whatever,
knocks it
Green
down to
Lantern.
point two, Marcus. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know, the Green Lantern. When an Earthling, as we put it, becomes a Green Lantern, he's looked down on by like the biggest idiot, worthless Green Lantern there is.
Yeah.
Every other alien race is far superior to him.
They have
Yeah.
champions. They have fucking
Yeah. So like, and then that goes into like again into the multiverse again. It's movies, whatever. But our Earth,
Well,
as we
movies
know
came
it,
from
is
theories,
like,
came from people's thoughts, and came
Hold
from
on.
people's
Hold on.
feelings.
Donnie, go ahead.
Well, I was
I
gonna say,
want to hear.
our in movies, our Earth is like the most inferior.
Yeah.
Like there's another Earth where
That's-
everybody's
that's what
a
we're led to
scientist.
believe, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's. That's what I'm saying. We can't even agree in this room with three people
Yeah.
that we are
Right.
powerful enough to take down somebody else.
Oh no, we're weak.
So-
we're
Nice.
our flesh suits
There's
are
another
the
point.
weakest. Our flesh suits that we wear right now are. I mean, they're the weakest.
Yes.
Right. We
But
are
they're the
yeah.
most advanced on our planet,
Yeah. Mhm.
which is nuts.
right.
But we're shit.
Yeah, and it's interesting too because our flesh suits are ultimately designed to corroborate with our brains, and our brains send off signals for whatever, like either we're aggressive or we're passive or we're listeners or we're talkers, or we're just like there's so many different groups of humankind and mankind in that. But no, I do 100% agree with both of you guys on that. But one thing I think to go along, and I wrote it down, and I'm glad you guys brought it up because it sparked that in me, is that our flesh suits are so weak, but what's also very, very unique, and what I think is what is built into our genetic coding or whatever else is our ability to regenerate, right?
Yes.
So you cut yourself or you break your ankle or something like that. Those things don't make any fucking
This
sense.
is so perfect to fucking for me again. Keep going.
No, I mean I literally want to throw the baton. I want to give you the baton because that's probably my last thing. In addition to, to go along with my theory on why all of a sudden now it's like, from government standpoint is like let's give society, give society our support and say, okay, we acknowledge that there's these other UFOs and extraterrestrial life, and my theory is that. I'll say it again one last time, is that they are looking for somebody under the radar
To advance what they have.
to come up and say, I know what gravity is. I know how the fuck that
I figured it
you know
out.
what Bob Lazar walked by and he was saying, you know, well, we can't really figure out how they can really you know, without any noise or anything, zoom across the sky at thousands of, you know, miles an hour, whatever, you know, like, you know, the calculation's horrible, but you know, they're able to do all these things so quickly. And he posed the theory of gravity and utilizing magnets and gravity and things like that, which to me make a lot of sense. But other than that, the only other thing that really is fascinating to me, well, two things. One is the flesh suit. The flesh suit that regenerates, like you know, when you have a cut, when you break a bone, when you do these things. Like, to me, the fact that we are able to regenerate ourselves back to maybe not full capacity, but we're able to get back to functionality is amazing. And then also to corroborate the whole you know, body temperature thing. As a machine, you know, if we walk around and I doing a little bit of research, I know that you know, there's some different scientists.
We talked about this one day, yeah.
Yeah, and there's some scientists that have actually brought it up, and so I can't take, you know, full credit for this theory or for really this you know, this crazy notion or being excited about the fact that we as a human being walk around at 98 point whatever degrees as a healthy human being, right?
98.6.
Yeah, 98.6. If we walk around at 98.6, like especially now with the pandemic, if we go in to go do a move at a senior citizen center and they take our temperature and we hit that number, we're good to go. Okay, so we operate as a healthy, functioning human being at 98.6 degrees. Although we walk around at 85 degrees and we're like, God damn, it's hot outside, or 90 degrees. Okay, today we got to 70 degrees, or yeah, exactly, depending on who you are and where you are in the world.
I don't know what the fuck you guys did today, but it was 100 where I was at.
Right? So we walk around at less than 2 degrees warmer than what we operate as a healthy human being, and we identify with that as
We're
being
machines.
scorching. Yes,
We're
we
machines.
identify with that being as so uncomfortable. We want to find a shady or you know, a water or
Cool down.
you know, we want to cool down,
Yep.
or we sweat, and that's our body's reaction
Yeah.
to the over temperature or whatever. The outside
Our
temperature.
internal.
So that is such a unique thing that we do as genetically modified human beings. The fact that we operate at a higher temperature than
Okay,
outside.
are you I would like to fucking retract a little bit then. Are you basing that information into your scale? Because I would like to raise my number maybe slightly off of that, because that's pretty fucking on point, and
Well,
you're,
I mean,
and you're
it's-
not wrong
it's
at all
factual.
about that.
It's just-
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And like that's the best we're doing the best we can do with what we fucking had.
Yes.
So you're
Well,
exactly right about
Yes.
that.
Yeah. We walk around. We walk around with a general knowledge that, or
Donnie said, but
well, we walk around
Donnie
with
said,
this
but-
general knowledge that we are, you know, that we are superior, that we are very intelligent. We have the ability, we have empathy and things that separate us from animals, right? That's obviously well known as well.
Not
so what
everybody.
makes us
That
well,
shouldn't even
what,
be
what makes us
in the running.
superior? Well, what makes us superior is the ability that we can differentiate between, we're not so instinctive like an animal would be, like
Okay.
a wolf would be in the wild, where it does
we can internalize things.
it does one thing to survive, right?
Yeah.
And it does it by any means
Sounds
necessary. And we have empathy and we have the ability to retract and kind of like navigate these different social situations to be, you know, and now we've gone from
Make other situations
yeah.
into fucking
We've
into
gone from a
fruition.
lot stronger, harder flesh suit to
Yeah, yeah.
survive the elements.
I will 100% give you that, because
now
I'm with you there.
We rely on our brains because the internet. But if you take away the internet for, I don't know, fucking 24 hours, and all these
that-
people that have these.
That's almost too far into it.
megalodon. Well,
I feel you, but yes and no.
But here's the deal: we've absolutely, without a doubt, factual. We've gone from much tougher flesh suits, including more hair, going forward, less hair.
No, you're right.
We've developed much softer flesh suits as a result of society and what it needs to be successful, and going from like being a big bronze strong
It
guy
gave us passable to comfortable.
and that being attractive to the opposite sex. Like females found
Oh, yeah, super deep.
strong bodies to be more attractive, and now we have turned the corner. We have flipped the coin to where now intellect drives, and like intellect drives what, you know, that attractiveness or whatever else not. You know, now it's more attractive to be able to navigate more of the internet space and, you know, speak in zeros and ones. And that has, in my opinion, and I could be a little jaded or whatever, but I think that is a strong case for the fact that we as a society are getting weaker but more intelligent.
Yeah, so the brains are getting stronger, but the bodies are not.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, like the attractiveness has gone from a manly man into, how my brother put it on a couple episodes back, a metrosexual.
Yeah.
You know, someone who like Chance.
Yeah.
You know,
sure.
More femme-looking people.
Well,
who wear 3/4 worth of fabric around their ankles instead of normal pants.
Absolutely.
You know, but
it's become more of a fashion.
What I'm getting at, if you look, when I said butt a little earlier, we talk about being smarter. We'll look at the past. If you look at anything from the past, they thought by 2020 we'd have flying cars. We have not. If you bring somebody back from, say you're able to bring somebody alive who was alive back then, a scientist back then, he'd look now, he's like, this is as far as you've gotten?
Right,
this is it? Like,
we're
supposed to be all these intellectuals, and in 80 years, this is what you've done?
Right.
They'd be disappointed.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think we
all
collectively
are. And that's where I'm going with where we're at a 4. We're not
okay,
where we should
let's
be.
lead into this.
Well, no. We're not where we've been led to believe. If you watch Back to the Future or you watch the Jetsons, you have an understanding that by the time you hit 2020, we should be leaps and bounds ahead of where we are currently. But that's only because you have a preceded knowledge of where we should be.
Okay, well, look at hoverboards. We have hoverboards. And I know people can't see me doing the quotes with my fingers. They're on wheels. Nothing about it hovers.
Yeah.
You could take a magnet and it can float above the ground.
Right.
Why can't we make a whole board do that with magnets?
See, I'm with the perception here.
We
go ahead.
Should be smarter. We can go back to
like magnet trains,
or do you
let's go back to people in power who are like, oh, let's get rid of all the scientists because why? Because they disagree with you. Because
right.
That's the problem. Is we're getting rid of anybody who is smarter than us because it makes us look bad.
Yeah,
who knows?
So then it takes us backwards as a people.
Right.
So that's why I'm saying
I like the points you're both making.
That's why I'm saying we're a 4.
But Donny, you're absolutely right when you mention that. You know, as far as the hoverboards, because a couple years ago, when I saw, finally they act like it was a huge advancement to put a positive and negative magnet and have it levitate across each other. Like as a child, we did that.
Yeah.
And I know, like
in elementary school, they taught us this.
Oh my God, right? Like we would take a positive, negative, and we'd be like, oh my God, that's fascinating. How just you can't stick them together. Or no, I'm sorry, a positive and a positive.
Yeah, positive. Positive, negative tracks.
Yeah, right. So, no, you're absolutely right. Like,
my wife and I work because we're...
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Polar opposites.
Opposites attract, yeah.
Fuck yeah, me and Brittany too. Anyways.
Thanks, Paula Abdul.
Multiverse, bro. You're all leading in.
Yeah, so let's go on to there. It's time.
Okay, so the multiverse, I agree with Marcus as the more I think about it, because a multiverse, so everything is a little bit different, right? Mm-hmm. There's no way it could all be the same, or else it wouldn't be multi, first of all, and it wouldn't even exist in the first place if all the particles were the same. Anyways, they all settle different, and obviously timeline's real. And, well, I've said it for a long time. Time is weirdly the only thing that is, was, and will be. It's the only thing ever that is, was, and will be.
Yeah, time.
But it's also the only thing that's an idea, bro. Time isn't real.
You
know what I mean?
Yes.
Like time, it's so that. It doesn't make sense to fucking put one aspect on one aspect and say this is it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so for the multiverse, I'm gonna agree with you on a 10, honestly, because saying that everything's different. No matter what, something's different on everything. Maybe it's on one multiverse. In one verse, it's just the elements. In one verse, it's just, everyone's blonde or something. Say that. But
yeah,
I would say for us, we are doing the best for sure with what we were given. Yeah. That's a fact.
100%.
And
I disagree.
I agree. I agree with that.
I think we're given more, and we're not doing the best.
Well, we don't know everything. There's absolutely still layers of intelligence.
Yeah. But the multiverse, so obviously not all the information's the same. It goes with the same fucking tracks. Anyways, they say an element's different on a different verse, right?
Okay.
They can do, like, they're the best version of that verse. But every verse is the best version in a different aspect.
There you go.
So maybe we're not there fully with what we were given, but we definitely did the best with what we were given. And because maybe, I keep saying elements, but maybe because elements, maybe because how time is perceived, maybe the different energy, maybe how energy reacts with it in different verses. But I think there's definitely, we're all on the worst and the best, but none of them are the best and none of them
There's
are the
something
worst.
with this universe that's better than
Yes.
the next.
And the worst. And
Like,
worse.
they could all be geniuses in one
Yes.
universe. Here we have growth in plants. They won't have plants. They're all
Yep,
desert.
exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Nice.
I get that, I get that.
Yep. Or like, say even to tie Bob Lazar in, right? So it was an alien, but I've always believed in aliens, but the more I've heard and thought and learned about the multiverse, I think it's more different verses than aliens, you know what I mean? And they just figured whatever out.
Yeah.
But say Bob Lazar, so there was someone or something, or maybe, so they said they found an element, right?
Yeah.
It could have just been from a different verse where the geological matter was made up different, or there
Yeah.
was more fucking energy,
Totally.
or just different, you
yeah.
know what I mean?
Yep.
And it all,
I have a question when I want you to go and.
well, that honestly was, that tied most of it up. Most of the main point is it's less of aliens, but aliens.
Yeah.
But it's all just different. We're advanced different.
Yeah.
And we're devolved different.
And let me ask you something. So, let me ask you something. So, have you ever? So, I guess to be specific, like I have, but have you ever? And I want to hear your theory and your and how you feel about. Have you ever thought that potentially in this particular life that you're living currently, do you feel like in the multiverse that you have, let's say for instance,
I got you.
Like you've passed away. Right?
Oh, bro, you don't even know. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel it's really weird, and it could be just like transitional things over age or whatever else. Not, but I've legitimately had these ideas in my head that what if I fell asleep one night and I didn't wake up, and I'm in the multiverse. So I guess I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Okay. So I have two different broad thoughts on that kind of. So my first one, I'll tickle a little bit. Deja vu, right? We've all had deja vu.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
What would you attribute that to? What would you say deja vu is because of?
So
No idea.
last time we got into this a little bit
Mm-hmm.
was because I attributed it to
other lives.
other lives. Yeah, like I've had literally thoughts, feelings, like deep down in my heart. I'm like, I know I lived that, but
Perfect.
but I didn't.
You have?
But I
Perfect.
didn't live it.
Marcus?
Yeah.
Have
I
you?
feel that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay.
100%.
So I attribute deja vu to. Sorry, I had to burp everybody. I didn't want to do it in the mic. Shout out Lex. But so
Shout out to Mel.
I would say, okay, the multiverse, right? It's not far too different, and nothing's drastically different, right?
Yeah.
It's all got to be. So say it's the timeline and say it's just energy. Just put those two facts into it.
Yeah.
It can't exist in the same spot at the same time. So
Yeah.
there's just minute differences.
It still is consistent with our understanding, right? Like it does. Like also, we don't wake up out of one of these deja vu experiences and become more intelligent or a
Nope.
different person, right?
Nope.
We're still at our capacity of understanding.
So I would say deja vu is because the energy. I don't have the facts or the weird shit. This is just the feeling and my thoughts and what I can say right now because I'm a little buzzed. But anyways, the energy is, let's say it's a Passover, or let's say it's linear at the time, and that world, since it's not so different, that other you is doing the exact same thing you're doing.
Yeah.
but it only happens sometimes. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't know. It's just like, whoa.
100%.
So what about like how I used to call it reincarnation?
Okay.
Okay, like there was a different life,
Yes.
but maybe like that feeling of reincarnation is
Well,
more
that's
like
exactly the same, though. Yeah.
the person, the
That's
you
the-
in another
That's the
verse
multiverse too, Tyler.
maybe
Yeah.
is either at the same time or maybe they passed away, so then their
Yep.
memories.
And that's where
are
the
going
timeline's
to-
different. Yeah.
The
But the
memories
energy's
are
the same.
splitting to the other yous.
Well, energy doesn't die, dude.
No, but that's what I
It's-
mean. Like
exactly.
the body dies, so that memory, that feeling, that
Yeah.
soul
Uh-huh.
spreads. It just
And
it
that's where-
divides to every other you. So that's where you're getting these thoughts, these memories. Like literally, it's the craziest thing.
Because
Yeah.
it's within
and I hope
its
you guys
verse.
have felt it before. That it's just so crazy.
Oh,
to
for
learn.
sure.
100% agree with you, Donnie. Like it's and you know, like I am so fascinated with what you're saying, Tyler. So I don't want to take away or distract from that. So go on. I just concur as to having those same thoughts and feelings. That it's you know, I've legitimately felt like either there is a substantial difference throughout age, which I think that there also is, right?
Yeah.
You know, and then just going back to like, you know, like what happens in like our bodies or whatever else not, and all this thing. But there's something outside of that that is unexplainable that I feel like, God damn it, I honestly feel like I could have stopped at a particular point and began at another particular point. Like
Well-
that particular part of my energy may have ceased to be, and a residual amount of my energy is going forward or something
Well,
along
that's
those
where I
lines.
wanted to tie in. You were talking about regeneration, right? So me and Matt, shout out to Matt, OG Dad Bod.
What's up, Matt?
So me and him used to talk a lot about, because obviously it's hard to get on page with shit like this with people, right?
Yeah.
Fucking, it's hard to talk about hypotheticals and the craziness, whatever, unless you're close enough. But we would talk about. So he had this weird theory, and it tied in with mine, that energy doesn't die.
Mm-hmm.
So say you're right, you have a cut in this life, yeah?
Yeah.
In another verse, your whole arm got cut off right there,
Okay.
and you died.
Okay.
And your energy transferred to another verse
Yeah.
where you just have a cut. It's just a little difference where your energy still survives. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And it actually kind of ties in with Donnie's paranormal shit too. We talked about with that, where, and like my example of power lines is going to be kind of stupid, but power lines might keep us from our energy
Kind of like
fucking
holding
bugged
it down.
Yeah, like we're bugged
Interesting.
down. We can't
Yeah.
really transcend as much as we should.
Uh-huh.
Sure.
And
We've created our own obstacles
yeah,
to, I guess, really kind of visualizing or understanding
yep.
the differences.
Exactly. And so say we get, okay, our arm or our leg or whatever's cut in one verse, our energy goes to here, and it essentially takes over.
If I may, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but what I want to say is, so like a traumatic car accident, for instance.
Yes.
Okay, so you get in like a traumatic car accident and you quote unquote black out. Right?
Yes.
And you wake up
Yep.
in a hospital.
No,
bed.
you're 100% right
Okay,
here. Yeah.
So yeah. Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Perfectly. So thank you. But there's also, if the energy isn't right, say where you, not even where you died, but say where you are, say whatever, if the energy's not right, you're going to get stuck between verses. And honestly, so I would say hell, heaven, purgatory is all biblical, right?
Yeah.
I don't believe in
news.
that shit.
Fake
yeah,
news.
yeah, it's all fake news. But I believe that your energy can get stuck between verses,
Yeah.
and that's what purgatory may be. And you could either fucking mad about it, or you're okay with it, or you move on, or you don't. I don't know.
I like it.
It all ties in a weird way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the deja vu thing for sure. I've thought about that a lot.
Yeah. I mean, it's
All
so
the time.
unique too,
All
because
the time.
it's like I don't think that there's actually anybody that can deny that they've, going back to that, the Matrix movie, Keanu Reeves, the first one, whatever else, not when the cat walks by.
Yeah,
And,
and then
is
walks
that
by
the first
again.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Is that the first one or second one?
Yeah, 'cause it's before he comes out of it.
Yeah, and so I think it's like so well understood that there is a slip or a what you're talking about, the multiverse, and that's one thing that I'm not very familiar with, and that I haven't taken any time to really investigate or whatever. And so that's why, yeah, like,
Well,
I like your theory on it.
so it's okay. There's 5 main theories on the multiverse, but the 2 I most identify with are the 2 that I'm going off of, kind of, and I'm kind of mixing them. But I put it here in my notes. So one of them is called the daughter universe multiverse effect type deal, and that's the theory where every decision has a million different outcomes, kind of like what we were just
Like
talking
Doctor
about.
Who.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, and kind of where like just
You
it's
got to
just
nerd it up for
minute.
some of us.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't know Doctor Who, but I
well,
hear you.
Okay, yeah. Well, every decision has a million different outcomes. It could even be the arm. You got your arm cut. Million different outcomes from that. You know, you got gangrene. You died. You got your arm sewed back on. It worked again. You just whatever the fuck it could be.
Sure.
Or another one that I like the best. It's called the bubble universe, and it's where it essentially says each universe is within its own bubble, and anything in every different bubble could be drastically different, like 100% just way different, but we're all stacked on top of each other in here. And that's kind of where I lead both mine into, because I believe both of those.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't say the other 3 or 4 or whatever it is, because I don't really
But-
know much about them, but those are the 2 I'm
one
going
thing
off of.
that I really agree with you on is the time thing that you started with. Is so time is so our definition of it is something that we created, right?
Yeah.
It's an idea for sure.
Going off the sun. It goes way back to, okay, the sun's here. This is the middle of the day now because it's right above us.
Let's
Right.
count it.
It's just us creating time, yeah.
Yeah, sailors and you know
Mm-hmm.
and going back to, you know, traveling, you know, from coast to coast or whatever, you know, before there was any science to really kind of validate it, you know, everybody
Yeah.
went by the stars.
Yep.
And so astrologically, but the whole time thing just really gets me. It just does on so many different facets, because it's like
I've thought about it so much, dude.
it's all definitive, like based on what we create of it. And
Exactly. It's all an idea, but it's forever, and it always was, and
Yeah.
it will always be.
Yeah. And nothing all
And
in
it
the
was
same sense.
made up. Exactly. It was made up as fuck.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't. And like, that's literally. It's like our time is our lives, right?
Yeah.
So time is our money.
And that's how we gauge everything.
Yep. Time is our sleep. Time is our fucking when we were fucking awake, when we're asleep, when I don't know. Time's everything, but it's nothing.
Like we need
But a
we
timeline
need
has
X
to be
amount
real,
of-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and I would say as far as the multiverse goes, like the one, I don't know if you guys have seen this movie. I'm a big movie buff.
Movies.
I
Love it.
push everything. Of course, movies.
Yeah.
The one with Jet Li. So it's a multiverse kind of thing, but it's like they're all going on at the same time.
Oh yeah. Well, they are for sure.
And so that's what it goes down to. Like, he finds out, like the character finds out about it, and he's traveling to each multiverse. They found a way to do it, killing the other ones because it makes him stronger and smarter. So he kills one, he gets
Bro,
that
perfect.
that power, that strength, that
He
knowledge
like absorbs it or something.
goes into
Dude,
everybody
that's what
who's
I'm
left living.
saying. That's what I'm saying right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's how I feel
Perfect,
about it.
Donny.
Yeah. So
Yes.
so like if somebody, and that's why I'm going back with like the thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Is
Or
if
living a
somebody
different
is-
life.
Somebody is dead or killed there, that energy separates to the remaining yous.
And
So
it,
you get
and
just
it can
flashes
go
of it.
back.
You get flashes of it.
Ooh,
like-
okay, and that would be deja vu.
That's deja vu. That's like
Boom.
a dream where you're like, no, that was real. I lived that.
Yeah.
Or a feeling that you
I know
lived
this
that.
person.
Because
Yes.
you know, in another verse,
you saw somebody.
did live that,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and that memory is just sent to you. Like it is you, but it's a different you.
Yeah.
Well, bro, I've had weird
So whatever
dreams
that one is, that's the multiverse I.
I got
that
it.
you
Yeah,
believe in.
that-
Word.
Yes, yeah.
We'll figure that out, and we'll come back with facts in the next episode.
Yeah.
Or more facts.
I like it though.
But I like that because I've had dreams. First of all, I've had times where I could wake up from a dream and go back to sleep and go back into the dream. I've definitely had that. But I've had dreams that were weeks long,
Yeah.
months long, you know what I mean? And I was gone.
Mhm.
And I felt things and I did things and I knew things, but and then I woke up where I was. And
But
so
in
I
your heart, you're like, that was
Yeah,
so real.
100%.
I know that happened. Yeah.
Mhm. And you're like, well, why would that energy, if it wasn't the same, right?
Or like how can you subconsciously keep a timeline? You know, like what you just said. Like I think that I've absolutely kind of like woken up.
Even an acid trip or something, an overdose, anything.
Sure. But like you but what you're talking about, like a week-long thing, if you're able to slip back into that other realm or what have you, that's a very unique thing because to have a chronological order to your dreams, like if you're able to kind of like pick up where you left off, that's a very to me, there's so many question marks. I can't.
There's been so many of those. The same thing. Like I wake up, I'm like, no, and I go back to sleep, and I am right there again.
Yep. In the same situation.
Yes. Yeah.
And
not like a rewind either. You're literally just right back.
Interesting.
You wake up at this point, and you're like up for 10 minutes, an hour, walking the dog, going to the bathroom, whatever.
I would say
you fall back asleep, and you're thinking like, oh my god, and you were right there, right where it ended, going on.
You definitely
so there's absolutely something behind. I mean, there's a reason why.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you definitely have to know. You definitely have to be in tune with yourself to be able to, for that to even fucking happen. You know what I mean? You definitely have to like. You have to remember first of all.
Oh yeah.
Because you can't just jump. You have to be
I don't
thinking
remember
about
every
it
dream,
at least.
So yeah, it's.
And you have to. I mean, you have to fall right back to fucking sleep. I assume first of all. But you just have to, I don't know. There's a lot more. That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is too, because I personally have never had a timeline that I could pick back up on. I struggle to remember my dreams in general, and never have I ever experienced within like a very yeah, for sure. Like it's probably all the weed I smoke, yeah. But it really does.
I'm with you though. I
will say if I don't smoke before I go to bed, I absolutely have very vivid and I'll say sometimes very like violent, like I have very vivid dreams.
Yeah.
Where you have that jolt wake up. You know what I mean? Like you have that
you
like,
jump, it's okay.
The jump.
Oh, everything's okay.
Yeah. You wake up and you're just kind of like, what the fuck? I don't want to go back there. And so to have like for you guys to speak to a chronological sort of a timeline that you're able to pick back up on, there's absolutely something behind it. But then there again, that's where I ended.
Well, which is weird though, because if there's something behind it, it proves time, right?
Yeah, sure.
But and then that, I mean all I keep thinking about is you're saying a 10 and I was saying a 4, and I'm trying to lower your numbers, but you keep like raising my numbers kind of, but like.
And I'm stuck at a 4.
He's stuck at a 4.
Yeah.
That's the great thing about us as a people.
Right.
We can have our own opinion.
Oh, for sure. And like to get very basic and if I were to look at it like, you know, you drive by one of those like Smokey the Bear fucking scales of like how dangerous is it today as far as wildfires, right? Or like, you know, and I'm at a constant fucking dip in the red. You know what I mean? I'm like, we are literally on the cusp, like we at any point, and I feel like there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of fear in regards for most of society, in regards to the fact that at any point we are not too far from somebody pushing the button and just erasing, or let's say for instance, like not to go back to the extraterrestrial stuff because my time has lapsed, but you know, if someone let's say
Marcus.
Let's say yeah right, if I swear to God I'm done because my most exciting
I
topic,
do have more.
My most exciting topic that I want to hear about is the paranormal. I am such a paranormal buff.
Me too.
So I'm so excited to get there, but. One last thing that I'll say in regards to the extraterrestrial or whatever is that let's say with the lack of knowledge on gravity, for instance, right? And let's say, for instance, if we're all just kind of participating in the science experiment and gravity is a part of that, and if gravity has always been a part of that, and with generationally Mayans and things like that have just gone away, with no understanding or no knowledge of like where they went or whatever else not. So one stupid theory that I have is that let's say for instance if gravity is a part of that, and if it's, for lack of a better term, nothing more than a flip of a switch, you flip that switch, gravity ceased to exist, where would we go?
Up.
Away.
Yeah. Gone.
It'd just be gone. And if we wanted
That's not a switch, though.
If we well, I said for lack of a better term.
Okay.
If we wanted
Watch
to
Spaceballs.
Sorry, you're right.
And if we
You're
wanted
right.
if we wanted to quote unquote flip that switch and then we all go away and everything that is bound to Earth goes away eventually because gravity is so strong in that sense, and there's nobody to maintain it, and it goes away, and then you reinstitute that science project, and then you reinstitute human beings, and you regenerate, or you
Start over.
You recode them, and then all of a sudden you see what they do next time. And then we could be,
But that goes into
That's what a
different
multiverse
universes.
is.
exactly
Yeah, that's
throwing the
exactly
baton
what
to
a
you back,
multiverse is,
Tyler.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so we might be recalling, prior to the flip of the switch or whatever, in another dimensional sort of a thing. But with my big thing is like, without the true knowledge of what gravity is, if you were to turn gravity off, and if we were to float up in there and we have like literally less than seconds of oxygen and the fundamental things that we need to survive, our bodies, our machines need to survive, and that cease to exist, it's just gone.
Yep.
And there's no recollection other than, let's say, for instance, like what our predecessors have done, which is etch them on the side of a mountain, right? You etch it on the side of the mountain because we've already seen like aliens and UFOs and things like that been carved into the side of fucking rock, and those things are bound by more than gravity, and so we are able to, as a predecessor to our previous, human beings or humankind or whatever else not, so we can see those things. Of course, there's no understanding of it, but that is where I'm done.
Well, okay, right before you're
throw
done,
it.
though, I want to know, both of you guys, what are your alien experiences? What is the most memorable? I mean, you said you both had them, so what the fuck are they? You know what I'm saying? What makes you personally believe in aliens?
For me, it's literally been a UFO. For because it's unidentified.
Yep.
Like, I'm literally out in the country, not right now, but when I was young, out in the country, sleeping at a friend's house. We're out in the backyard. You see this come, stop, and then just disappear.
Gone, yeah.
Just gone. Like that.
And you saw it, and you knew it was real.
Yes.
Yep.
Nobody would ever believe me.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
I believe you.
That's
Well,
what,
and you know what's funny is like everybody believes you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Literally, though,
everybody
yeah,
fucking
everybody
believes
so
you.
that experience is another reason why I say we're at a 4, and it ties
Yeah.
back to both. Like, maybe in a different multiverse, we're a 10.
Yeah, we
and
can't do
dominate
that.
everybody.
Yeah.
But here right now, yes, we have the power to destroy ourselves, and we're destroying ourselves. That's another reason that makes us a 4. We're
Yeah.
too stupid to stop killing
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yep.
Sure.
And we have that power to do that. Instead of focusing on protecting ourselves, protecting life, making it better, we don't have the power. We don't have a plane that can just come, fly, sit there for a second, and then just disappear. We don't have that.
Right.
Obviously, some other race, species,
Yeah.
planet does.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep.
That's why I say we're so low.
Yeah.
And that's how I tie back into both. Like, again, maybe there's a multiverse where we're at 10.
Did it
and
scare the
everybody else
shit out of you?
1,000. Oh, my God.
And to give, and to not sit on my high horse and not give credit to what both
That's
you
a
guys
pretty
are
high
saying.
horse because he's a little guy.
I know. Yeah. I sit on my soapbox. But the reality is that kind of brings, it kind of humbles me in a sense, because you're absolutely right. Because maybe strategically, where we get to the point where all we have to really do is push that button as a humankind to erase humankind,
And it would.
and then
Yep.
we get introduced to these different extraterrestrial things that kind of humble us as a society and bring us down a peg and be like, okay, there's bigger things than what
Like,
the
wait,
fuck
what
you guys
about
can
that?
do.
That's what we.
Yeah.
That's what we
Yeah,
need.
and everybody pumps their brakes for a 2nd, and then they're just kind of like, okay, wait a minute, like we could destroy ourselves, but we're dealing
Or
with
we could
something
join
else.
forces and we could be better.
Or we could be flying around
And
space like a
that's
Yeah,
what
or
we
we could be
need.
flying around fucking
We
space.
need to be
Elon
humbled
Musk.
as a
Shout out to
people.
Elon Musk. I mean, he's one of those, like, he could be so on the cusp or on the spectrum of outwardly alien.
He's new generation alien.
Yeah, right. And
No,
so,
for sure. He
yeah,
is.
yeah. So for him, without
He's advanced.
he's advanced,
Mhm.
and his.
Maybe
Like
he is an
his-
alien.
Exactly.
No,
He-
for sure he is.
no,
We're
exactly.
all aliens.
He's just new gen.
It just depends.
Michael Jackson didn't die. He just went home.
His
Here's the deal.
his energy went to a different spot. Exactly.
Donnie, I swear to God, like on a lower scale of things, I am the furthest thing from a zeros and ones sort of a human being, and you're more of a zeros and ones human being, and you see things differently than I do, which creates a multiverse
Oh, see, I
inside
think
of
I'm
a
right on the
multiverse.
cusp.
Yeah?
I think I'm on the cusp of you two.
I think that's what makes it so perfect.
Yeah,
And what
but
makes
the levels of
this
aliens that
right
we have
here,
right here in front of us
'Cause
is
there's-
also very unique.
So
Well,
much
ones
better
and
than
zeros are
everybody
real.
else.
Yeah,
because we can be different, agree on different things, and just still be okay.
Boom.
Why can't it all be like that?
Yeah, you motherfucker. Just
Well,
kidding.
and then
Marcus, wait.
If we could agree on that, we could be a 10.
You can't cap off every statement or every sentence with like, why can't we all be like that? Because the thing is like
No,
that.
I don't want us to all be the same.
Yeah.
I'm saying
Why
like
not?
to be a 10
No.
or a 9 or a 7.
Yeah. Right.
If we can all be like, okay, you're different. I
Yeah.
see that.
Yeah.
I accept that.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
But we're not different amongst ourselves. We're
Well,
and
and
amongst the verses.
I don't. You know what?
Yes.
You know, honestly,
we're all the same.
There might be a genetically modified like human race or whatever else not that where I could ultimately draw from your zeros and ones, and you could draw from my lack of zeros and ones, and we could
Boom.
be in the middle.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
That's a different multiverse, right? But
That's how this one should be.
correct.
That's what I'm getting
Wait,
at.
hold on.
That's how we should be.
Yeah.
I agree. Marcus, though.
Oh, experience, personal
Yeah.
experience. You know, for me, so here's the deal: is I
You just know.
no, I don't, and I'm comfortable with that. For one, for
Oh,
two,
that's a good answer, though. That's a good answer.
Yeah, but like specifically, I've always attributed my extraterrestrial right into my paranormal. So from my first experience,
Yeah, explain that.
And I, like maybe this might be an organic segue into the paranormal bit, but for me, the extraterrestrial was the first time that I ever saw a ghost. And I started thinking of things outside of my realm or my bubble. Or
I can't wait to tie my
box.
boomer into all
my
of
box.
this.
Yeah, my understanding.
After you
my
talk,
brain.
I got a boomer to tie into everything.
I've always been, especially when I was younger, I was a very antisocial. I was kind of an very silent kid. I didn't talk much. I just consumed everything around.
You watched,
me.
yes.
I was a watcher, yeah, for sure. I was a consumer of knowledge, internalizer, and including the first like paranormal
Purveyor.
extraterrestrial experience where I was staying at my grandma's house and she lived in Crestline in California, and I was sleeping on her living room floor. It was cool. Like I made up this like bed for me or whatever else not, and I love spending time with my grandma. But I was there, and I look out to my left. I look out the sliding glass door onto her porch, right? And I see an elderly woman sitting in a rocking chair, and I see two little children playing around her, right? And I see those things, and I'm terrified. I'm younger. I was terrified, yes, but also very excited, like very curious. And so, yes, did I pull the sheets over my face like traditional, like every scary movie you see? Yes, I did that.
Just kind of peek out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the excitement kind of like took over, and I would peek back, and sure enough, eventually I do that about 2-3 times. And sure enough, the elderly woman that's sitting in a rocking chair going back and forth as these two children are playing around her, she's facing me. Well, no, she's not facing me. She's looking at me. Okay. And so now, all of a sudden, now I'm...
Got a big ol' boner.
Well, I had it before I even...
Sorry,
so,
I had to throw something in.
It was,
Sorry.
under the covers,
already
there's a boner
there.
there.
Yeah, and it was already there prior to this experience. But no, like I guess my first extraterrestrial style multiverse paranormal experience was when I looked out those sliding glass doors, and I see that going on, and I knew because it was so, and I wasn't sleeping, that it was that in my head it was 100% real.
Yeah, of course. You assumed to be awake.
Correct.
Okay.
I assumed to be awake. I assumed that I was in my right mind.
Yes.
I assumed that what I was seeing was 100% real.
It was.
I internalized it as 100% real. I was fearful. Like I did everything in my little brain to turn it off, and it didn't turn off. And so I had to identify that as being something that is visual and now a part of my life, but not something that everybody could. You know what I mean? That wasn't normal. Like,
yeah.
I couldn't trace back. I couldn't tell you how they got there. And then eventually, I did, the stereotypical thing again where I put the sheets over my face. And then that one time I pulled the sheets over, I'm interacting. Well, I'm not interacting, but I look out there. She's looking back at me. I pull the sheets up over again. I'm terrified. I pull the sheets down. It's all gone. It's all gone. So, and that's one of many paranormal / extraterrestrial / multiverse things that I've seen.
Word. Diggity dope, dude.
I mean, that's just that's the first one that I can recall.
Well, you know what I think, and this is just me, my opinion. I think we've all been introduced to paranormal when we're little. When we first learned about the pyramids or the Sphinx.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why do you think
How
that
did they
is?
have the technology back then
Yeah.
to do that, which we barely had the technology to do whenever Mount Rushmore was created?
Yeah.
They did that way before anything else. They had the Sphinx with the face carved in it.
Yeah.
It took us that long. You know what I
Well,
mean?
not even that,
The
but just
pyramids,
like the
how did they lift
aqueducts.
that giant rocks and everything else back then?
Absolutely.
Or
they've
the
done
tunnels they had,
Their
their
aqueducts, their
anything.
tunnels, yeah,
Like,
their
Yeah.
the whole basis of their civilization
if we're
was
so
advanced.
far more advanced now than we were back then,
Right.
that wasn't us.
Well, that was before they hit the
Boom.
gravity switch.
So
yeah.
therefore, we've all been introduced to aliens when we first learned about that.
Boom.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, that's how I see it. I know people
Well,
aren't going to agree,
Stonehenge,
but that's how I
Stonehenge
see
the
it.
same way. Like they've done so
Exactly.
many different things to kind of not debunk, but basically kind of
Debunk.
like.
They tried.
But honestly, to give substance to that, to how that manifested, how that came to be, it's not necessarily debunked the way that a lot of these like ghost shows are on right now that try to do, but they honestly try to like figure out how that it could even be possible. And based on everything that I've seen, there's like little ways that it could be done, but not. It doesn't clear cut show you how.
It could have been done, but almost
With how advanced
impossible.
we are, it could be done.
Yeah,
But with
yes,
how
now-
advanced they were,
with-
it couldn't be.
With what we have,
We
on-
have the
yeah,
machines
Yeah.
that could do that now, but they didn't have machines back then.
Yeah.
I almost want to try to tie this in. So,
Well, that's what I was going to say. So tie that back to the multiverse.
well, exactly. So,
Totally.
so I love
Somebody
the
had a
multiverse.
deja vu experience where they knew how to build something or did something.
Well, even more than
or
deja
aliens
vu.
to make that.
Are you guys familiar with the Mandela effect?
Oh yeah, 100%.
The Mandela effect.
Nelson
I've
Mandela.
heard of it.
Okay,
it's
if
Mandela,
we
but
could
yeah.
maybe get a
Nelson's a great guy.
definition, if we could maybe get a definition, not a definition,
Tech guy?
but yeah. So, anyways, the biggest example, let's say, the Baron what bears when you were a child?
Berenstein
Berenstein.
or Berenstein.
Oh, yeah, the Berenstein Bears.
Berenstein.
Or Berenstein.
Nope.
Or
Berenstein.
It is Berenstein.
What is it now?
Berenstein.
Berenstain.
Berenstain.
It's
Okay.
the Berenstain Bears. But, and it's literally every fucking thing published. Donnie, can you read the definition?
I was gonna say I think the I think the Mandela effect.
It's a loose example.
Well, no, in that particular scenario, it's
It is the multiverse.
Oh.
it is.
No, but it's
the-
not. No, I disagree there.
Okay.
Because what this says, it says the
I think it
Mandela
is.
effect occurs when a large group of people believe an event occurred when it did not.
That's
See,
easy.
no,
That's
perfect.
Too easy.
No,
Yeah.
no, that's multiverse
but that's saying
fully.
the multiverse does not
See,
exist.
But this is where I'm saying that.
Right. It's chalking
Energy-
it up to science, and I don't think science can explain.
Yeah,
it.
let's say a crossover of energy,
I think
right?
this is not science. I think this is somebody fighting science.
Okay, but check
You
this
say
out.
it's real,
That
but it's
definition?
not. Yeah.
But look,
The definition literally says that
People believe it when it's not true.
a large group of people
A large
have,
group, yeah.
have gotten together to determine that something is not true, whatever.
that it's factual
That it being
by their standards.
and I don't think
This saying
that
it's not true.
But check this out.
The
So
saying they believe it, like Scientology, or not Scientology. I'm sorry. That like think. Okay, so look at
well,
look
this
how it's going
but the
on right now.
multiverse isn't proven.
You have
That's
a
not
large
true.
Group of people who believe COVID is fake.
Let me
That's
explain.
not true. COVID is real.
Let me. That's
That
a
would
whole
be
lot
the
different.
Mandela
That's a
effect.
whole lot different, though. No, I would say. Okay, so I would say, okay, positive, negative, right? There can't be more energy that pours into energy is what's the word? Stable, right? Let's say energy's stable for the
Okay.
most point.
Sure. For the most part,
It
yeah.
can't be,
because we stabilized it.
but not even that. It's all
pure insanity. It's completely unstable. Sure.
but it's pure where it needs to be, so stable in that fact, right?
Sure. Yes.
I would say it's like multiverses, which are different energy. There's definitely passovers, and there's definitely little switches, and it's where information, or not even information, but people, technology, ideas, even vegetables, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Are switched because they pass through and all this energy's here, but this chunk has to take this chunk of energy and this chunk has to take this chunk, but it spreads amongst itself in a type deal, if you kind of know what I'm saying.
Absolutely. 100%.
Can I chime in and see if Tech Guy is
So-
on board with what you're
okay.
saying? He says what Tyler's saying is that the thing could have happened in a different universe,
Yes.
such as such as Peanut or Monopoly Man never having a monocle,
Yep.
but we think it is, so therefore it's happened
Yeah.
because we have the thoughts of a different...
Because
that would be Mandela
Yeah.
effect.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. That makes sense. The way I was reading it is that
I kind of loose lipped that, and that was kind of
like a
shitty,
cult.
but
Like
No,
they believe
no,
God
no.
is talking to them.
We just
even
had to
though
get
it's not
there.
real, they believe it's real. even though
It's all
not.
we just had to get there.
That's how I
Yeah.
was.
yeah.
yeah, it's
Mhm.
not
100%.
here
But it happened
somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, or somewhere or there would be here,
Or
just
Donny-
on a different.
Or Donnie, like what you
Energy
said.
level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like what you said as far as like Mandela effect isn't.
This is my favorite episode. I just want to say, guys, and I'm
100%.
glad we don't have to edit a fucking thing. And,
and
I
I
love
knew
it.
it would be. I knew it
Until
would be
that
for
part
me.
right there.
No,
I-
fuck
well, no, no.
it.
This is going to be the least editing I'm going to do.
Yeah,
And
let's
this
go
is
ahead.
gonna cut
Let's
Tyler
get
out.
mid air cheers here. Cheers, everybody. No, but so Donnie, so
Can you take
like what
that
you were
for
saying
Brittany
in regards to like the
Please?
COVID thing, right? So, like right now, it's understood as COVID-19, and so we all well, not we all, but most people understand that COVID-19 because it got introduced in 2019, right? And so Mandela effect isn't
All within our verse still.
yeah, and Mandela effect isn't necessarily that like some people believe in it, some people don't believe in it. It's if tomorrow you wake up and you go onto the news and
Yup.
they call it COVID-20.
Yep.
Trying to manifest that it happened in 2020. So you know for a fact that COVID-19 happened in 2019. And we've been dealing with this since well, personally, or since the beginning of the year, whatever. So
Yeah.
that's kind of debatable.
19.
But it's called COVID-19. No.
Yeah.
The factual thing about Mandela effect, and that's all hypothetical. But Mandela, or so COVID-19, and then all of a sudden you have one night's sleep, you wake up tomorrow, and then all of a sudden
COVID-20.
it's COVID-20. You're like, no, guys, this is COVID-19. Like we've been dealing with this. It happened in 2019. And they're like, and all of a sudden every news article that you read says
20.
COVID-20.
Everything.
That's Mandela effect.
Every book, every magazine, even if you go back 6 months in magazines, it said COVID-20.
And you know for a fact in your heart of hearts that it was COVID-19.
And then you can get people to corroborate that
Bingo.
because yeah.
And but then
Yep.
all of a sudden you have a large group of people that are saying no, it's always been COVID-20. Then you're just kind of like, what the fuck are we talking about here, guys? It's always been COVID-19, and that like the Berenstein Bears.
Yep.
Bernstein, or
Berenstain, Beren
yeah,
whatever.
or even
Well-
where it generated from. The Mandela effect happened because Nelson Mandela allegedly passed away in prison, right?
Yep.
But there's a large demographic of people
He
that
didn't.
remember going to his funeral when he was not in prison.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
he
we have
did
one-
not pass away in prison.
No, I don't think so either.
So there
Nope.
you have it. And that's where it originates from. That's
Yeah.
why it's
So
the Mandela
what
effect.
I was doing
But he did. I see.
But
it.
yeah.
But-
What the Mandela effect is if all of a sudden you woke up tomorrow and then they were like COVID-20, COVID-21, things that just like you up to this point since the beginning of the year, since this whole thing was introduced to general population or general public, is that it was one thing.
You know
and
what
all
that
of a
makes
sudden,
me think, though?
Overnight, it's another thing.
Hold on, this is something I've never even thought about though, with the Mandela effect, right? Mandala, whatever.
Yeah.
So a lot of people believe we're a simulation, right?
Yeah.
Would you? Okay, say hypothetically we were a simulation. Would you say Mandela effect's a glitch in the system?
Well, I think
You know what I mean?
I think it's one of the most generally accepted ideas of multiverse.
Word, because I like that one for sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know. In my head, dude, there's no way it's not real. There's really not, because like,
I agree with you.
and it's even without facts. Like everybody as their own person knows what the fuck energy is,
Yeah.
and they know what energy does.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know what I mean. I would like to say
Well,
generally.
you certainly know when you don't have it. You certainly know when
Yep.
there's a lack of it, and
and
so
when there's
identify.
too much,
Yeah.
where it's focused in too many spots.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
Those are identifiable. But
Even if
when
you don't notice it.
Yeah.
So let's go. We can come back, but let's go from multiverse to paranormal.
Yes. Let's go.
So,
let's go paranormal.
and the way this transition set is, Tyler kind of mentioned on it earlier, like, if, say, all the bodies in all the verses, all the yous die, where does that soul go? It stays there. And to me, that's a ghost. I don't believe in God, heaven, hell, all that.
I do believe everybody has a soul.
That
so when your body
perfectly
ceases
correlates.
to exist and ceases to exist in all verses, where does that soul go?
Another
It hangs
verse,
out there.
bro.
Yep, yep.
Nope. Another verse.
What if your you is gone in every single verse? There's nowhere for that
But
soul
if
to
you're,
go.
if
That's a ghost.
I appreciate that, but if
spectra
you're gonna
of
accept a
bodiless
multiverse,
soul.
Or
If
a
you're gonna-
lingering of that
well,
energy.
well, that's where I was kind of saying the
Oh.
purgatory quotes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take it from you.
No, the purgatory quotes. But if you're gonna accept a multiverse, you have to accept an infinityverse,
Okay.
right?
No, I don't think you have to.
I think
I think a multiverse means there's multiple of them, not forever. Maybe there's only 10.
But there's not.
Maybe there's 20.
There's not a definitive
don't
number
know.
on energy and time, though.
or
But
a defeative number in general.
Yeah.
That's where I kind of grasp onto
Not to
that.
disagree with you.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
That's how I feel. Maybe there's not infinity
numbers-
amounts of it.
Yeah.
Maybe
That-
there's only 20 verses in the multiverse.
I even put that in my notes, though. I was like, if
do,
you have
do,
to
do,
accept
do you know what I
infinity.
mean? Like in my mind, yeah, I do agree with the multiverse, the reincarnation, the whatever you want to
The
call it.
transcendence type deal, yeah.
But maybe there's only 20 verses. Maybe
Okay.
there's only 30 verses.
Touche.
So once the you and all of those die, that's a ghost.
I mean, honestly, I
the
believe,
soul,
Yeah.
the energy, the whatever inside you has nowhere else to go because
I believe that because
There's
in
nowhere
our
for it.
verse,
Because-
maybe there is only 10.
Just like what
That-
you're saying,
yeah.
Donnie, is like the same way that all life ceased to exist as far as we know it.
Yeah.
It's the same kind of theoretical
thinking
idea.
right now.
Is that everything ceases or everything ends at some point, right? And so there can
Yes,
only be
exactly.
X amount of verses or
Yeah.
universes or whatever. Or like your soul or energy.
Maybe not, but-
Your solar energy has a particular path that it's on, but it will cease to be.
Just kidding.
I mean, ultimately,
in your opinion.
Your body can die, but I don't think energy can die.
That's what I'm saying. That's
I
what
do not
that's
think
what
it can die.
a spectra, a ghost, whatever you want to refer to it as.
I would
That's
say-
why it's there. That's the energy of you, your soul, your whatever.
Yeah.
When the body dies and there's no more use for it
It's
to
just
go
no.
to,
It's not physical anymore.
yeah, there's your energy.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I agree with that. Then
So you can see that, you could feel that every once in a while they can make their presence known. I don't think that there is a heaven, a hell. There's demons who are
that wouldn't be a
taking
verse. Then
someone's
you're
body.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
I think it's
my
just
favorite beer.
just like the energy.
It's a
of
whole nother level.
No more you left.
That's
That could be the final verse in the multiverse. Like
Sure.
once
The
all
only
the bodies
reason
die, boom, you're in the final verse.
Yeah.
the only reason I think verse is just because like I've seen a ghost.
I have too.
And
I've felt ghosts.
I've seen ghosts. I've felt ghosts. I've been a fucking afraid of ghosts.
I've never
Yeah.
experienced
I've-
ghosts.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I don't want to say I've never been afraid, but I've never been so afraid that I'll never go back somewhere. I felt the I got to get out of here feeling, where you get that you're like,
So maybe it doesn't go-
uncomfortable, I
yeah.
don't want to be here.
And you can't really put your finger on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've had it. So I used to.
Oh,
clean
I've been there.
carpets.
Well,
ton of
that's where the
times.
energy is. Then
Yeah,
that's where the
exactly.
energy goes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I used to clean carpets with my stepdad.
Oh, that
and
just
at
made me think.
One
I
point,
love it, yeah. Oh
I'm
my
sitting
God.
there. I'm in this old farmhouse from like 1910, and I'm cleaning the carpets in the basement. And I got my headphones in. I'm alone. Nobody's there but me. The home owner is gone. There's nobody there.
I would read this
There's
book.
an empty house. My stepdad didn't want to come along, so it's just me. I'm sitting
Sounds
there
like a romance
in,
novel.
I love it. I'm so
I'm
horny
sitting
right
in the
now.
basement, and I feel literally like somebody tugged on my shirt.
A ghost dick.
And so I'm sitting in the cleaners like, I'm almost done. I'll be right there. I thought maybe my stepdad was coming to check up on me and see how close I was. I was like, yeah, I'm just about done. Just a couple more swipes. And then literally I go up to do a swipe, and I couldn't. Like somebody grabbed my arm and pulled me back.
Yeah.
And it would not let my arm go forward. And it felt like somebody was physically there holding me. I turn around. The place is empty.
Yeah.
They're like, that's my blood. Don't
That was-
clean my blood. That's the last
That was the only
remnant of
time
me."
it was like
You're done here.
it was like, okay, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
So I clean quick and I get out of there.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that. I'd be like, yeah, your
Because
shit's in the
it's
basement,
like-
dog.
it's
I left that broom right there.
It didn't want me to change how it left it, kind of thing. You know, like it wasn't
Exactly.
Yeah,
It
sure.
wasn't
Exactly.
like I'm gonna bruise you, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna damage you. It's just like, please stop, kind of hold me back, don't let me go anymore.
Well, that's what just made me think. Your question: where does the energy go? Maybe it's solidified in this. We'll call a ghost an orb for this, right? Maybe they're solidified in orbs. Your energy, and the only way that energy can die or deplete is to pass little bits on to people that are in its gravitational pull or in its space.
Yeah.
Oh.
So maybe it touches you and a little bit of
gives a
it
little bit of
dies,
it to you.
but then you carry that energy on with you. That fucking made me think about that. That's super cool,
how
bro.
much does it rely on your ability to
to enforce it? Yeah.
to feel it?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
So
That
another,
made me think, and I really like that. Thank you for fucking
Yeah.
saying that.
Another experience I had is Lex and I, when we first got together, Carter was just a little baby. We rented this house in Twin. It was a very old house.
That was your first mistake.
It was so old that literally was so. The only way to get to the attic was you're going down to the basement. Above the stairs was an entrance into the attic.
What?
So high up, you couldn't even put a ladder on the stairs to get up there.
I'd be living in the attic.
There's no way to get up there.
Trap house.
Now,
People under the stairs.
not every night, but
Oh my god, bro.
almost once a week, there would be something I would hear or something. No joke, our faucets would turn on. What's the explanation for that?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, why is this on again? I had to get him to go turn the bathroom sink off.
Yeah.
It would sound like, one night it sounded like cupboards were just slamming everywhere. And it sounded like somebody was running around our house, pounding on the walls. I went out there with a bat, completely empty,
Yeah.
right? Carter
He's talking about his dick. We're not really with a bat.
By bat. Yeah.
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 Carter was a baby at that time. I think 3 years old.
They were coming for him.
Okay. Carter used to, we'd hear Carter in the bedroom talking. It was like, oh, it's an imaginary friend. Carter told us that he used to play with the little girl in his closet, and the man with a hole in his head was scary.
Oh my God.
So
I believe you, Carter.
I do too.
No, I'm
What
100
3-year-old
I'm
makes that
literally-
up?
For sure.
Exactly.
You know what I
Children
mean?
are so innocent. You can't
and
make
you
that up.
can hear cupboards
Right.
slamming, faucets turning on. I feel like
that's
that
the last
house
thing.
was haunted.
That's the last
It
thing
was.
that you want to deal with as a 3-year-old. I think that's so outside of your wheelhouse that it's like, yeah, it has to be. I mean, it has to be.
Yeah, because
know.
I'm sorry, it's not like Carter saw horror movies or ghost movies.
Right.
He was 3.
Right.
A
Well, you
3-year-old
can't
kid
even
who's
you can't
telling
even
you
form your own
the
opinion on
man
that
with a
at
hole
that
in his
age.
head. He hasn't seen somebody who was shot dead with a hole in his head.
Right.
But he saw this man with a hole in his head.
Yeah.
In his room at night.
Is it cute?
They give
And
you
what-
goosebumps.
What made us leave that house was I was up here in Boise
Yeah.
training to be certified for my job. My wife called me. It was like 2 a.m. and said we need to move because at that point she
Fuck
was alone
yeah.
in the house with Carter.
That's
Love
funny.
it.
That's
so
good
she
shit.
brought
I
Carter.
watched this movie.
She
Let me
brought,
get the
right?
fuck out of here.
She brought Carter into the bed with her.
There's a stranger in the house.
and Lex was like trying to talk to her, get a little more info. Like, let me know. Do you see them now? And it was like 2 a.m. Carter said, "The man with the hole in his head's at the bottom of the bed. They're here now, mommy."
Oh my God.
That was the
like,
end of that. Yeah.
Pack the truck. Let's
But
get out of
the-
here. Energy that can almost, for lack of a better term, stick itself to
Yeah.
a living life.
I think
source.
either
Yep.
to a living life source or an item.
Yeah.
Well, there's a negative and a positive to every type of energy, and that's
And you
exactly
attract
what
it.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether you have not enough negative or not enough positive,
Yeah.
you're gonna attract that amount of negative and
Donny,
that amount of positive.
because you have my favorite topic, and not to
This actually is my
Oh
favorite
no, that's
topic
fine.
too.
It's mine too. So
Okay,
I
cool.
was glad I got it.
so
love it, yeah.
I guess just to I just want to know your general overview of paranormal. The whole paranormal thing. So
Meaning?
the specific. Well, that's what I mean. The specifics I love. Like that story was like it honestly gave me goosebumps. But since you have the topic, I want to hear what your general idea of is, like your understanding of it, like your acceptance of it, your lack of acceptance of it. Like I just want to know.
Multiverse
I wanna
slash
hear-
extraterrestrial.
yeah, the same way
out
that
of it.
I guess for I think just your general overview of paranormal anything.
So for me, paranormal, like I said earlier, spectra, ghost, soul, whatever. I believe it's the energy of somebody.
Okay.
Okay, I don't believe in heaven, hell, God, devil, demons.
Yeah.
How dare you? I'm off
Okay.
this podcast.
And I'm sorry, not everybody has to believe what I believe. I don't believe in those. I do believe that there is an energy that everybody has, and when they're done, they're done.
that, yeah.
But that energy is there. So in my mind, that's a ghost. That's a spectra.
I want to know.
Whatever
I want to
is
know
like-
more of your
Would you say
your feelings about it. I want to know more of your
yes?
feelings about
Would
it.
you say paranormal?
Excitement?
No, not even paranormal. Ghosts.
I guess. Like-
yeah,
like-
yeah. But what
Are they evil or no? Are they malignant,
malicious?
malicious, malignant?
I feel
malice could even be a
not-
fucking good term.
So many M words.
Yeah.
It all depends on
Mischievous.
It all depends on the person and the energy it came from, or the body the energy came from. But I don't feel that they're full on malicious.
From what
like,
you've heard,
I'm gonna kill you. They're like, don't change my stuff, so I'm gonna try to scare you so you leave my thing that I'm attached to or that I love alone.
Word. That's a perfect answer to my question.
Do you
Thank
feel? Do you feel like
That's a perfect.
in whatever realm or whatever multiverse that they're in, they're aware of the circumstances that you're I guess what I'm. Yeah, I guess.
No, yeah, you're right.
Quite simply, do you think that they're aware of you? You're aware of them, and honestly, are they in a multiverse observing you, or are you observing them?
So it goes as far as the multiverse. I feel that it's like they're done. Like all the U's in every multiverse is done. Okay, so I do feel like spirits are aware of you, even if they're on a loop. Like I also feel like some energy is on a loop.
Fuck yeah.
Like they're just repeating a certain thing over and over again.
Until
I still
it
think
needs
they're
to be
aware of
exerted.
you, but they have no choice but to repeat that.
So they're
Exactly.
not consciously doing these things that you observe.
Some are.
That's my. So if they're on a loop, if they're on this repetitive,
They know they're on a loop. That's how I feel. That they know they
they're
are,
on a loop?
Or
but
not.
there's nothing
I
they
would
can do
lean
about it.
to
Where
more
would that
towards
come
not.
from? Well, hold on. Like, where would that come from?
Yeah.
Why would they be on a loop?
Maybe
there's
their
a conscience.
favorite experience, their least favorite experience, something that
So
happened to them. And
you're
they're like,
saying
oh my
maybe-
god, I hated this.
Hold on,
So
Tyler.
then I'm completely like why am I reliving this? Because there's something they need to accept about that. You know, like
I just want to vaguely know. Say, okay, you're saying maybe a house is haunted. There's a spirit on a loop there. So maybe every person that goes there gets the same experience. Is that kind of
Yes.
what you're saying? Okay. I just
only
wanted to catch
on
up.
that.
Cool.
Like
question.
not all of them are
There,
on a loop,
though, yeah,
but
I
that
feel you.
loop,
Yeah, I feel you.
And maybe say that loop has to do with, they were coming home to deliver flowers to their wife.
Yeah.
It never happened because they died before they could.
Got murdered
So
on
they're
the
on
doorsteps and
that
shit.
loop because that's what they wanted to complete.
And, well, they're trying to
So
push
they're
their
trying
energy.
to complete that.
Yes.
So that they can go on to something
Yep.
else.
Okay.
So that's what I mean by loop.
That goes with my
it's,
orb
it's
theory, I
Something
feel
that was
like.
Yeah. Oh,
something
sure.
that was unfinished that they want to finish.
It's almost like you become their Mandela effect to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Boom. Holy shit. This is the
So
best. When people tell ghost stories, right? Say, oh, it flew across the room, just like this. It's no one's gonna bullshit that much and expect you to believe some made up story like that.
goes back to like a
People are
3-year-old
gonna
doesn't
say-
gonna make that up.
Exactly. Like, if
Why would you go so
you're
far?
either gonna be too embarrassed or you're gonna tell exactly what you experienced and what you saw.
And because there's so many people that are into the fake news that's not real,
Yes.
I don't want to believe it crap, they'll treat you like you're stupid if you
Yep.
bring this up to them.
Yep.
So exactly, they're not going to make this up because they know you're going to be like, oh, you're an idiot, it's not real.
Well, see, and that doesn't tie into anything we're saying other than what I've been pushing is energy. It's attractive and negative, right?
Positive, negative, gotcha.
But
Like magnets.
I would say us four in this room, because our tech guy's here, we're all positive
kind
energies. We're all positives, right?
Yes. Open-minded, willing to accept.
Maybe it's because we had a little too much negative energy hanging out with us. And when fucking our orbs got
Or
close together,
grew up around
we
us.
fucking pushed out some negative and attracted some positive.
Yeah.
So
That's how we became friends and became
Exactly.
this.
Yeah.
And it
Is
doesn't
getting rid
talk
of the
about
negative, bringing
anything
it
but
up.
like,
I gotcha.
and yes, I'm drunk, but I love you guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I
I'm
love you,
super
buddy.
glad we
I
know
love
each
you guys
other
too.
and we can fucking do this because this is a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
You got something to say before I go into more experiences?
Please do.
Okay, so another one I had / my dad's dog had.
Ghost boner.
And I don't know I don't know how much either of you have read or studied up on this. I love the paranormal, I love the ghosts.
I'm trying to listen after Pete go.
Children and animals
Uh-huh.
are more
Yep.
susceptible accepting of it
Agreed.
because, they haven't been trained to not be.
Right.
So my dad lived in this house out in the country, and this was when Lex and I, my wife, were still. We never really dated, but for lack of another term to say it, we were dating.
Sure.
We were at my dad's house out in the country, like literally middle of nowhere, in between Twin and Jackpot, nothing around.
Perfect scenario. Yeah.
Okay. All of a sudden, we couldn't find Carter, and we hear a little giggle. Carter's in the basement. The basement is dirt ground, half concrete, half pebble. Like, I'm talking house from 1800s.
Creepy.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Got
start
no
going
business
down
down there, Carter.
Yeah, listening for the giggle. The dog his dog, this huge black lab, would never go into the basement. I'm like, why won't you go down these stairs? They're not steep. They're not nothing else. I pick him up, bring him down there. He flew out.
Wow.
He did not stay down there. And that was like, that started getting me thinking, and that's when I started looking a little more. But then I find out that a previous owner burned 100 cats in that basement.
No shit.
Yeah. And the dog didn't want to be in there. And you're like, okay, so is he sensing the previous owner who was abusive to animals? He's sensing
Yeah.
the energy of 100 cats? I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. But he wouldn't go down there.
Yeah.
We name this episode "The Energy of 1,000 Cats."
Yeah. No shit.
It's 100, motherfucker.
How fucking
The
scary
energy of
is that?
100
Oh my
cats.
god.
But-
Good lord.
You always had that feeling of an
Surrounded by
uneasy
pussy.
feeling of being in that basement.
Yeah.
But Carter was down there giggling. So my thought was, okay, was Carter down there playing with what he thought was kittens?
Yeah.
But was just the energy of these,
Do I need to get Carter
like
committed?
the ghost
Yeah.
of these 100 cats,
Yes.
I don't know how much Carter has seen since those days. Like, the last I remember,
Too much.
3 or 4.
Yeah.
Too much.
Like, how do you come back from that?
I would hope, you know what, honestly, and I would love to be able to, at my age, see it.
I know
See spirits, see ghosts, talk to them, interact with them.
It's almost like the older you get, the less ability you have.
Which is crazy.
It is, yeah. I think we get predispositioned. Like, I want you to finish, and then, but I will say, it's the first thought that comes to my head is like, let's say for instance, like, so for years I did like kickboxing and things like that. So the person who taught me kickboxing,
Dick Marcus, kickboxing.
yeah, no, I'll fuck both of you up right
Fuck
now.
her kid and kick up here.
But here's
With
the
your
deal.
legs?
But the kickboxing coach
Short
that I
little
had
legs?
at the time, yeah, no, I'll kick above your head, kid. And here's the deal. So the coach that I had at the time, he really loved training people that had never fought. Right, I came in there from like having a couple street fights, and I thought I was like really tough or whatever else not. And he
beat you down?
He beat the fuck out of me.
Yeah.
right, because I had an idea.
It's a perfect underdog story.
Yeah, well, I mean, I had an idea, and I think it honestly, the philosophy ties into what we're talking about because I had an idea of what I was doing. I had no fucking idea what I was doing. But let's say, for instance, like somebody like Carter, for instance, or not, anybody that came through the door that had no preconceived thought of how to fight, they were the best. He loved training them because it was like starting from scratch. Okay,
Yeah.
So it was like
I gotcha.
they were the best. They were the quickest. They were very precise. They were just overall like he just enjoyed training people that didn't have a preconceived notion or hadn't grown into thinking that they were badasses.
Well, you can attribute that to many aspects of it.
Well, I
True,
got where he's going
but
here.
I want
Yes.
to attribute
No,
it
you're
to
exactly
this.
right.
I want to attribute it to this.
I'm
Yeah.
not trying to fade from that, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think what I took away from it and how I'm going to tie it into this is the fact that like I feel like the older we get, the more that we have what we think is an idea of things, and it distracts us from being really thorough and accurate with our what we see. You see something out of the corner of your eye, you see, and then you toss it up as like whatever. I think that
Your
we have
mind playing
Agreed.
tricks on you.
yeah, like
Agreed.
we have a
Something
preconceived
blowing in the
idea.
wind.
We have a preconceived idea of knowledge or what we're doing, when in reality we have no fucking idea.
Because you're taught to by your parents, teachers,
yes,
elderly. Oh, this is fake. This isn't real.
and then
it's all in your mind.
Yeah, and then you have your child in the basement, which nobody should be in the fucking basement, laughing at who fucking knows what.
How a 3-year-old got down those steep
Bingo.
concrete stairs
Because there's no
giggling.
Probably dropped him down them.
Yeah, there's
Rolled.
no preconceived notion that that's not real. There's no preconceived notion that like this isn't a part of like what real life is. Like what I'm seeing in front of me right now, which is 100 dead cats or 100 spirits or energy.
Man with a hole in his head.
You don't have any preconceived notion that isn't real, so you adapt that as reality.
Yeah. Because they haven't been trained differently.
Bingo. You haven't
They've
grown
been
into this
taught.
like this callous human being like I was when I
Well,
when I
that's the
came
most
in there.
impressionable time too, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
and
you're
your
most
mind is
open to everything.
open. Your mind is open.
Yeah.
But no living thing could really give an impression of death or a ghost or bad energy on
It's
even
as
another
far as-
living being.
it's
You
like
know,
what you
it's
said,
all
Donny.
got to be experienced on your own.
Yeah.
So it's
Carter
100% real.
Carter never saw somebody get shot.
No.
Shot in the head.
Carter
Yeah.
never even saw
Yep.
a
There's
dead
no
body with a
preconceived
hole in
notion.
their
There's no
head.
preconceived notion that that's not a real person that at the foot of his
Exactly,
bed,
yeah.
being like,
And no one taught Carter that.
Right.
No,
Carter
was 3.
saw that.
He was 3.
exactly.
right.
And that leads back into all of this. Like you go back to a 3-year-old seeing that, right? Before being taught, that goes back to another reason why I think we're so low on the 1 to 10 scale.
Sure.
Because we take kids and we're like, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know absolutely nothing. You haven't lived long enough.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
And
Kids are the
we're
future.
smarter than you.
Like Whitney Houston said, kids are the future.
Yeah.
Because we
let
were
them lead
in
the way.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then it goes back to, okay, they had just been created.
They don't know anything.
Now all this energy from the other multiverses
Yep.
whatever,
Yeah.
is coming into them, and they're like,
Mhm.
what do I do with this?
Yeah.
And then we as adults,
We're
not
so
all
sure of what
us,
we know. We're so
Yes.
sure of what's been pressed onto us
Yeah.
as facts.
You're wrong.
And we're so
I know what's
yeah.
right.
Bingo.
I'm old,
Yeah.
I've lived
You're
longer.
wrong.
Forget
and
that.
they understand truth, if you will.
If I can't touch it, if I can't feel it, it's not real. You know,
Yeah.
not to go into like the religious spectrum, but
If it's different,
I'm
it's
with you
wrong.
there. Oh, I'm with you there. Yeah. Because you're right. Ooh. Oh, I thought it was.
and you know, a lot of people or a lot of parents or a lot of people say it's like the veil or whatever else. Not you know, like children.
The mist.
Yeah, like children have like they don't have the veil or what. I don't know the definition or whatever else not, but I just hear that term a lot. Like when children can see paranormal things and adults can't, it's because that their veil hasn't been like lifted or whatever the fucking term it is. But I mean, I think it's kind of like a easy way to sum up the fact that like as an adult, just everything that we've been talking about as an adult, like we don't fully understand different things and we're really quick to toss them away.
Yeah.
When in reality, like a child isn't. A child is like, no.
Their
I
mind
see
is
that.
open.
Yeah, like no, that's very fucking real to me. But what I also would love if Carter was willing to jump on a mic is to hear how that transition from being fully confident in what you're visualizing to being jaded just by either, you know, like being jaded is unique because you can get jaded just by your friends calling you stupid. Or, you know,
Yeah.
your friends are saying like, oh, you're a fucking idiot. That's not real. You know, and that,
You're like,
that-
So then
maybe
in
you're
your
right.
mind, you want to be cool and you want to connect
Yeah.
with them. You're like, okay.
You're like, maybe you're
it
right.
was-
Okay.
yeah, like, ew,
Maybe
like, I
it
don't
was
get it.
wrong.
I don't get it. You're a fucking idiot.
And
Yeah.
I'm so glad I was never that way. I
Yeah.
wasn't a
Samesies.
follower. I didn't give a shit. You
Twinner.
You don't like me? Cool. I am me.
Carter, are you
Which I
willing,
think is
are
why,
you willing to,
why Tyler and I, so far in age difference, still connected and became friends.
Yeah.
It's because we're the same way. Like, who gives a fuck?
I was gonna say, and like
Fit in where they want
like, you know, your friendship. I really enjoy seeing the onion that is your friendship because it's on different levels, and you guys really do connect on a not on the surface way. Like if somebody were to look at the two of you, and they would have a difficult time figuring out
Is this your
exactly
dad?
why it's no. No, but it would be like, but it's just like any really like good friend. It's like Josh and Anthony. Okay, like when you look at the two of
Yeah,
them,
I don't
like
understand that
on the surface, you don't necessarily
you.
understand, but they have like these intertwinings. They have
Because
these
I'm like
inside
manic
jokes.
and off the wall, and Donny's
Yes,
pretty
and
fucking professional.
They speak
the most
the,
part.
they
Yeah.
speak the same fucking language.
Yeah.
So you and Tyler speak the same language, and that's a cool thing too.
Well, we can't count you out of this.
Oh, no.
Well, I love you guys. I
Since
appreciate
day
you taking
one,
me
since
in.
you come in to work with
Literally.
us, you have jumped in and
I
spoke
felt the same way.
the same
Like,
language.
I've almost been like pump the brakes myself because I'm worried about
Nope.
being like I
Nope.
shouldn't feel so. I shouldn't
Don't even
feel
say
so,
it.
Like, I love you guys. You
Don't
know what I
say it.
mean? It's like it's one of those things where you know what I mean. Like when you meet people and you're like, fuck, how have we not been doing this
Yeah.
forever?
well,
How did
again,
I
and
not,
that
you guys-
goes back to
Yeah.
the multiverse. Maybe we're friends somewhere else, and that's what
We've
attracted
absolutely,
No, we are.
Like I've known
I
you guys.
promise
Like,
we are. I
swear
fully
to
believe
God.
in that.
I swear to God. Like
You-
yeah.
You applied for this job. Tyler was brought in by somebody else. Marie found me at another job. How does that happen?
Literally,
That we all
none
came
of us
together?
went through a legit anything.
No.
Yeah.
None of us went through the same way to get this job. I never even had an interview.
And the personalities
I
and
didn't
the stuff like that. Like I'm like I literally look forward to, and not to be like I'm gonna start crying here in a second. No, but
I'll cry for you, Doug.
But I look forward to. It's a unique thing, especially if you don't. Like I have a couple of friends and a lot of associates, right?
yeah.
but to immediately meet people that you're like, I love these guys. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you know
I would
what I
do
mean?
whatever. Whatever you need. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Like if I asked you anything, like I know that for sure, but just on a different level.
Oh, baby went to sleep.
Or my
Hi,
wife's holding
baby.
her.
Oh, Lex is holding
Carter,
the baby.
are you
Hi,
willing
baby.
to? Are you?
Carter's got a
willing to talk about
mic.
that?
Carter's got a mic.
I would. Well, here's the deal. Like, I would love to hear, because I think it happens to so many people, but for you in particular, who were able to visualize those different things.
Well,
Do you
you're
remember them?
still young too. You're still young.
One, do you remember it?
I mean,
I
that was
remember the event.
that
Hold
was
on.
I remember
12,
it.
11, 12
Wait.
years ago.
What do you remember?
I don't remember it actually happening, but I do remember being in that house and feeling scared.
So you remember feelings.
You don't remember what the guy or the
No,
little
I
girl you
don't
played with in
remember
your closet daily looked
The
like.
exact experiences. I
But
still
you remember the
feelings.
feeling of it.
Yeah.
Mandela effect.
I mean, almost fair.
Kind of. Yeah, no. I guess it's not.
See, me, I
relative.
keep going back
I mean,
to
memory is
to-
all perception too, and it fades. You know what I mean?
It like the reason why like
Love you,
no,
baby.
you're not done yet. Don't put that mic down. So, okay, so you don't necessarily remember. You remember having like a fearful feeling in regards to this, to the house, to the.
You remember the
environment.
feeling, not the event.
Yeah, like, and I feel like there's something that happens as you get older, and it happens to everybody for the most part, right? There's a small percentage of people that grow up and they're like, I can still vividly remember those, paranormal events or whatever, but you remember a fearful feeling.
I was gonna say, what are the feelings you remember?
Okay.
Do you remember the base? Do you remember being in the basement?
I don't remember being in the basement. No.
Okay, but you do remember the whole scenario, though. Word. And I just need to know. Okay, so obviously fear. Was there anything else you could identify?
Joy? I mean, you
Stupid.
played. No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's real. You
Fuck
heard laughing.
you.
No, you heard laughing. Yeah.
Carter played with the little girl in her closet daily. They were best friends when Carter was 3.
Yeah.
Carter was giggling with these cats. So, I mean, I would... Joy, I mean, you
Touche. Wait, I'm thinking of the one experience though.
the man with the hole in the head.
Whichever one we're talking about, I believe it's that
Well,
one.
I think the full-on basement was Joy. There was nothing but giggling coming out of
Oh,
her.
see, I thought the basement was the bad one.
No. So, and
what's
then
the
our-
last paranormal event that you remember, Carter?
Yeah, let's do with that. Fuck your fast. The last one.
The most recent was like 2018.
Okay.
My friends and I were at the penitentiary, and it was one of the haunted nights, and we weren't allowed to like actually go into this one building, so we went in anyways, the most haunted one, and we all sat on that bed and we were laughing. But then there was like,
Just talking like
More.
bullshit and laughing.
yeah,
But you
Okay.
felt some kind of
it
energy
felt
there.
like there was another person there, but there was only 3 of us.
But were they kicking it though, like laughing, or were they're
It
like,
felt
get off
just
my
like
fucking
another
bed?
friend.
They weren't
Fuck yeah,
angry
dude.
or mischievous.
That's
or,
so cool though. They're
Yeah.
trying to connect.
I agree.
That's so cool.
It just felt like we were missing a person, but no one was there except for us 3 that night.
Okay. And do you recall that as being like, were you scared or because
If it
Were you
felt like another
comfortable?
friend, I do. Well,
You
I
didn't
mean,
feel
maybe
like you
startled.
Had to run out of
yeah,
there.
No,
because
it's kind
I
of
feel
Not
like
to put
like-
words in Carter's mouth. Were you
Well, how about you
startled?
shut up and let Carter put words in his own mouth?
but Carter.
You're right,
Carter-
exactly, sorry.
And I'm gonna put my interpretation of you a little bit is that you're
In your
so
mouth.
open-minded.
Yeah, in your
Like,
mouth.
You're such an open-minded, individual that
Very.
I'm interested.
It didn't feel scary or anything like that. It just felt like we were missing somebody, but we weren't.
Ooh, I like that. That's
That
creepy.
actually is a lot more depth. Actually, I like that too
like
because
you're missing something.
yeah, like you're missing some. So like, oh my god.
like
okay.
they're there, but you can't see them.
So you guys were just kicking it, just chilling.
Yeah.
And
Was it the Halloween?
The first year that I went, yeah.
and you like
2018.
you like
Which is even
weren't
better.
Yeah.
you like weren't waiting on another group to come sit there.
Nope.
You
We
like
the
weren't.
only
You were
thing.
just
It was just us 3 that went to this friend's house, and then we went there, and then we went back. It was just us 3.
and but while you were there is when, and you just so
Was that the last
someone
year you
else
went
was
to?
kicking it with you.
You went last year?
I've been 2 years.
That
Okay.
I can't even. I don't even know like how to translate
like,
what
I-
I'm
I-
thinking.
I
about.
love
no.
the-
You said it perfectly.
I love the
So
description of
you
waiting
felt like
for
somebody
somebody
else was there.
Yeah, like you.
Yeah.
What?
Like you felt like somebody's missing, and but you could kind of feel them. I think that's awesome.
Was there like a negative or a positive or just kind of like a it's
Like
okay.
like Misty
I
Bro
would
or
say
like
positive
It was like
because
a
he didn't
neutral,
feel like
just
he had to
kinda
get out of
like
there.
Yeah.
back of my mind type thing. And I didn't realize it until like a couple nights later.
You're like, this bitch could have been my friend.
So it was like a recollection of memory. Okay.
I have one last experience I wanted to bring up on the point of this.
Following energy.
We lived the same haunted house we lived in that Carter saw the man with the hole in his head.
Yeah.
And how I described to get into the attic. We've never been in that attic. Could not get there because you can't prop a ladder on the stairs.
That's crazy, Carter.
Where there's no wood to stand it on to get to the attic, and that was the only entrance.
Crazy.
But going into that basement, there was no cold burning. It was the most uncomfortable feeling. Like I'm not small. I'm 6'3", 260 pounds. I was terrified to go in that basement.
That's why it was uncomfortable.
If I went, I was gonna break the stairs.
Yeah.
No, going down there like Lex's like, oh, we need this box out of the basement. I was like, I'd go down there. I would grab it. I would run up the stairs, shut the door, put all of the locks on.
Who hasn't done that though?
But no,
if you're in your house and you have
But
stairs.
I like it. No, I want you to
Okay,
finish,
there was
Donnie,
another house that I lived in.
No,
we had a basement. I was
like, there's got to be
uncomfortable.
something to
I wanna-
it
I
though.
wanna
Is
hear
what
the
I'm
There was
saying.
conclusion.
there was
This.
creepy hidden pathways in my stepdad's basement that went from this section. You go through this creepy little hallway. You come out in another room. I wasn't uncomfortable in there. I played in there. But this other basement that was wide open it's just a feeling like get the fuck out. I was so it was there was
There's
something
something to that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So the energy of the man with
wanna
the hole in
run.
the head, I think, was what it was. When I found out Carter, that's what I think it was. This guy was something bad happened to him. His energy was there. He was mad because it was like wrong that he had a hole in his head. It was.
I wish
was like
I wish Brittany was here to talk
Donnie,
about her
Donnie,
experience.
do you have any interest in revisiting that home?
Oh God, I would love to.
Okay. See,
I would love to go
yeah.
back that now and see.
That kind of intrigues me as well because
And I would
it's
find anywhere I
interesting.
could get
It's
in that
interesting how we
I do.
interpret fear for
Ghost boners.
like not everybody is like that, right? Some people go through that same experience and they come away from that being like,
Traumatized.
fuck no.
Yeah.
I would never. You can't pay me money to go in that basement again. But you like so it's a certain kind of person, an open-minded kind of a person that would experience that and have an excitement or or like a desire to go back into.
Well,
it.
how long ago was that?
This was 12 years ago.
And
13
what,
Well,
what-
because
what do
that's
you
an
think-
interest
what do you-
in-
What? I'm sorry, Tyler.
No, go.
But what do you think you would do? Like, would you go in there with an open mind?
Perfect.
Yes.
And would you like give
I would
yourself
try
like
to.
What is your
Talk
interest in
to
going
them.
back?
yeah, you would.
Be like, hey,
That's
I
terrifying.
know you're here.
What do you feel like you didn't finish? And what do you want to know is what I was asking.
I want to know what happened to that guy.
Yeah.
I want to know why he's there.
So you,
why is that
but
energy
you
there?
feel like you haven't finished that.
Yeah, I feel like
Why
I
else
wanna
would you remember
talk.
it?
Right.
I want to talk. I want to find out what happened. Why he's there. Why was I feeling
Maybe-
so uncomfortable being
Yeah.
in that basement?
Why did he
know.
make you so uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it about it that it had to be that way?
You know,
Why
and-
was he so uncomfortable?
Right.
Yeah.
And then is
Which
there,
I think is that's what it is. It's like he was uncomfortable, so that his uncomfortableness made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I never felt he was going to hurt me. I
Well,
just
that's
was like
that's the energy
But
though that has to be given.
Yeah.
Instinctively, did you have a fear that you're not aware of him attaching himself to you, and you leaving
Boom.
that particular basement or whatever else,
Diggity dope.
and then having some of that residual energy attached to your energy, and then not being able to lose it. Or
If you thought about it, that's
That's
it.
just it.
Is that the
maybe as
fear?
a thought?
That's it.
That's the
yeah.
big fear?
In my
Maybe
opinion,
as a
I would
thought, as
say,
a memory.
I agree with that.
If you don't forget it, then
I don't
that's it.
feel that I
You don't wanna
brought
walk
any
out
of
of
that
there.
uncomfortableness with me to anywhere else I've lived.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that memory, that thought,
But
is
maybe-
always there. So there's something
Yes.
attached to me to make me
Okay.
think
Yep.
and remember that. But it's not like I can't go into a basement and be like, oh.
See, but
here's
that was
uncomfortable feeling again.
its
I don't-
portion
you
of
don't
its
feel like
energy.
a specific energy.
No.
Well, that was its portion of its energy that it needed to pass.
So right before
And
we
whether it was you or whoever, you got a portion of it.
right before we moved here, I had no clue. So it was my wife, me, Carter, and my wife was pregnant with Alyssa. I had no clue
Pregnant?
that her aunt's
Pregnant?
house was haunted, as they would say. I'm sitting in the basement watching TV. My wife is right here. Well, I thought she was. I thought she was sitting there with me. I'm talking to her. And,
She comes down the stairs. What'd you say?
Well, no, I'm talking to her. And then I literally saw her get up out of the chair, walk behind me, walk up the stairs, and go into the kitchen. She comes out of the bedroom, and I was like, how'd you get back down here? I just watched you go up the stairs. She's like, I've been in the bedroom this whole time.
Weird.
She's like, who the fuck
So
you think I am,
That's
motherfucker?
creepy.
But it wasn't uncomfortable. It was like
Okay.
I'm here with Grandma. I'm here
Okay,
with my wife.
see, is
I was
that
comforted,
paranormal,
I was
though?
happy. Yes.
Talk.
There was
Don't
a
tap.
ghost.
Talk.
There was a
Okay.
ghost living in that house. I found out later, an old lady who loved to take care of people, who would invite people over and just feed them.
But you said it was your wife.
No, I thought it was.
Right,
Okay.
right. But you just
So it was like
there was a
peripheral
woman-
type deal.
There was a woman sitting next to me, and I had a full-on conversation. Walked behind me, went upstairs. All
So
of a sudden
you
my wife
didn't
comes out of her
know
room.
that it was your wife that you were talking to.
No.
You just assumed.
I thought it was
because you were okay.
because we
that's
went
what
down
your
to the
brain
basement
does.
together.
Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Your
yeah,
brain does.
exactly.
Your
I just
brain
needed to
associates
figure
what-
that
what
out.
you think.
So I think she was in the room changing Carter's diaper or something. She'd been in
Carter,
the
do
bedroom.
you remember this?
She'd been in the
The
bedroom.
old lady was changing your diaper.
No, my wife.
The old ghost lady.
She had been in the bedroom the whole time,
Uh huh.
but I'm sitting here watching TV, having a conversation with a woman sitting next to me that
was not there.
to everybody else was not there. To
I
me,
mean,
she
that's.
was. I watched her walk
I'm
up
not
the
gonna
stairs.
discredit any of that because I know
I love
the
it.
feeling, dude. I love it exactly.
So-
like
so-
that's fucking. That's real. You know
That's
what I mean? You
almost
felt
like-
it.
That's the last I can think of right now of my experiences. I want to
Especially
move
when
on and
when
hear your guys' experience.
But
I have
but Donnie, like,
maybe
but not-
two I can think of.
Before we move on, what I find interesting is how we take this paranormal entity or whatever else not, and all of a sudden your physical senses are perceiving that paranormal
Boom.
entity. So it's like your
This is the best
auditical, your
That's the energy going into
your
you.
visual, your auditical, like you're hearing things, and you were
Having a conversation, having her talk back.
yeah. So your physical senses are being affected by a paranormal entity, right?
Yeah.
And so in so much so that you question once once
Yourself.
you see you question yourself, and then you see your wife, and then you're like, that was you.
You do like a double take, like, how'd you get downstairs and back in there? Like, I
Yeah.
literally just watched you walk up the stairs 2 seconds ago.
Yeah.
And she's like, I never walked up the stairs. I've been here the whole time. You're like,
I love that, like, it correlates with multiverse, but, like, the more I talk about it, it's not even that. Not at
But-
all.
but
it's,
that's where I'm
it's,
coming
it's
from,
a
that it
whole,
could be.
like, it definitely could
the
be, and
energy
it
of somebody
definitely,
who's all the yous have gone,
yeah,
it's there now.
but
She was, so like this old lady I saw, the old lady I talked to in the basement, she was the last her of any of the multiverse. Therefore, her energy stays there.
see, but I'm on point with that in terms of it makes me think that maybe energy isn't everywhere. Maybe energy is
In like pockets or
where
something.
it's supposed to be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Or where it's supposed to go in that sense, that energy, whether it be negative or positive, follows your conscious self, whether how many of you there are in the verse, even if that didn't exist, but if it was just one of you, that energy like follows, and that's what makes me think
and
that's
Are you
fucking
saying
cool.
because you're open to it, even if, say, this old lady died in a different verse, because you're open to it, she comes to this verse?
Before I might want to say yes, but now I'm just like, it's too personal to be
That's
a
yeah,
verse type thing. It's too personal to be anything other than.
yeah. Well, what do you mean personal? I
And
had no
I like
attachment
it.
to
I
this
like
lady.
it. No.
Well,
Hold
that's
on. Maybe
exactly
you did,
what
though.
it is, though. You
Yeah.
do exactly. Is like maybe
In another
that's
verse,
you
I
do.
had an attachment.
You
or
welcome.
'cause-
You
well,
welcome
see, I'm
those sort of
discrediting the verse.
circumstances.
Farther we go into
Okay.
paranormal, because it just makes me think a lot broader about it.
Are you saying because I'm so open to it that's my connection?
Oh,
Because
no.
I didn't know
No,
her.
I think
maybe
that-
there's
I've never
just-
been in this house before.
There's
in my
something
life.
that you need to learn
Yeah.
that she knew, or there's something. There's a whole lot of different things I can't
Well-
even fucking think, but like,
Okay.
But-
it's just so much more personal than I think about it, bro, and I like that.
And I do too, Tyler. Like I like to kind of create some kind of a basis.
Have you had any experiences?
With what?
Yeah, this is where I want to go.
Paranormal?
Paranormal.
Yeah. I mean, well, like
Personal.
Yeah. No. I mean, going back to that original scenario.
personal.
I've had multiple. So I mean, so let's. So I won't repeat myself in regards to the elderly woman that was in a rocking chair and the two kids that were playing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
That's
we did
right.
talk
And,
about that.
and
I'm
I,
sorry.
and I kind of
thought
tie
more alien.
Yeah.
that into multiverse and then paranormal and
Uh-huh.
extraterrestrial.
How could you not at this point?
Right, and I think it all kind of ties
all
in
one.
together because as far as that energy goes and like where does it go, But and how does it manifest itself, and like
Yep.
and why to me, and then why whatever. But I've also I've seen multiple, like I've seen so when I was younger, and I had I had a bottle that was sitting on my dresser, and I felt a particular presence in my bedroom, and I was like, if there, and feeling that, and I as a young man, I was not scared of paranormal or anything like that. Matter of fact, I embraced it as much as I could.
Exactly.
Because there again, I was kind of a weird kid, kind of a quiet kid, so I kind of embraced.
And you knew what to do, kind of.
Well, I just kind of embraced like if friendships in any kind of aspect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The same way somebody would latch onto like a imaginary friend.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so if there's somebody in here right now, show yourself, right?
So what's
And
up? What's up?
Yeah, like what's up? Like
We accept you.
come at me, bro. And so
Come at me, bro.
What's up?
yeah, I had a little cologne
Show
bottle
face,
on my dresser. It'd be like a little dresser next to my bed. And I was like, if there's somebody in here right now, show yourself, right? And I was staring at that because that's how I wanted them to manifest themselves. Sure shit, that cologne bottle did like a 360 on my fucking dresser, and that's no bullshit. And how it even originated outside of my like inward like feeling that something was in my bedroom that I couldn't see. So when I looked across my wall, directly to my right, like past the dresser that was to my right, and my bed is against the wall, and then I have a dresser, and then the furthest wall, there was a shadow that passed across that, right? And not really, like I couldn't make out any features or anything like that, but that's kind of what have like initiated my if you're in here, like manifest, right? And so sure shit, yeah, like I said it out loud. And then my cologne bottle did a 360 on my dresser.
Like, I'm
and
going to
I
bed
was
now.
Like, yeah. And this was like years past my initial, like, I like paranormal, all that stuff is real 100% in my world, in my space. So,
And something like that as a kid, if you would have brought that up, it's just your mind, your imagination playing tricks on
You're
you.
crazy.
yeah.
Like,
I mean,
we as a people are
actually
trained
did.
to lose our imagination.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be.
Well, and I did actually kind of communicate these different experiences with, like, I saw my grandma, like, after she passed away, the same grandma that I initially seen.
On the rocking chair.
Yep. No. I don't know who that was. I don't know
I
who the
know.
fuck that was, but I was staying at my grandma's house at the time. But after my grandma actually passed away, I had a dream. It was actually a dream, but so my bedroom was in the basement, and I hear a knock at the door, which is upstairs. So I come upstairs after hearing the knock at the door, right? I come and I answer the door, and it's my grandma after she passed away. And I tell her, I said, Grandma, and it's my grandma Estelle, which is tattooed on my forearm, and I was really close to her. And so she comes in the house, and my whole family receives her, and they give her hugs, and they're like, hey, grandma, like we called her grandmommy. So anyway, grandmommy comes through the door, everybody like receives her, gives her hugs and everything else. I pull her aside and I say, grandmommy, you've passed away. Like you're not alive anymore. And she goes, I know, Marcus, it's okay. I swear to fucking God, it was as real
She's
as
like, that
we
don't
are right
matter,
now.
baby boy.
She goes, it's okay, Marcus. And she had one of her big old floppy hats on. She would always have like these big floppy hats on, and she was an amazing woman. But anyway, so like detail wise, she goes, and everybody receives her, and she leans in and she goes, Marcus, I know it's okay. And it was like her consoling me, I think is what it is. And I think that happens a lot too, is like when somebody passes on that you're really close with, you'll have like I don't think that my mind made it up. I think that you'll be consoled by these energies or these spirits, depending on how close you are with them.
Yeah, it follows you where it needs to follow you.
Letting you know also that it's okay that they're not physically here anymore. They're always with you.
Yeah, she let me know that, and it was really kind of like a stepping stone for me, because when she passed away, in particular, as far as like a little bit of background on me, that's when she passed away. I went off the rails. I went off the fucking rails, and that's where
That was a real bad time for you.
That was my dark period.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it was my dark period. So but that was the one solace to this day that I hold really close to me, is that I was the only one in this house full of
That
people
acknowledged it.
that acknowledged it and knew, and she acknowledged me and said, it's okay. And then she went back to like embracing everybody and hugs and kisses and like, yeah, let's have dinner. You know what I mean? Like the same way you would if your grandma came over.
Yeah.
You know? But I was like, but you're not alive. And she goes, yeah, I know, it's okay. So, I mean, that's another paranormal but / dream thing that I could have
Yeah, I know.
manifested, but it's very near and dear to my heart.
But if you think about it, if you go back, you circle around to like the Hispanic, they celebrate.
La cucaracha?
No, Day of the Dead. They celebrate the dead. They don't want you to forget. They put up things and have once a year where you remember the dead.
Yeah.
So you can see them, so you can still be with them, so you can.
Thank you. The
I
Hispanic
went there.
culture.
I experienced it. It is awesome, and the fact that their grandma could have died 20 years ago, and they still we love you, grandma. We miss you. We want to keep you with us.
Yeah.
We want to keep your soul here and attached to us, so we can feel you. Is awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
And
like New Orleans is really cool about that as well.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
But like you have like the Bayou people, you have like the Southern people, whatever else. Not like I don't know what culture that is. I think it's like French. It might be French, right? Isn't it?
Yeah,
French?
yeah. They're like the French speaking of the North. I can't remember. They have a term for it, but yes, I get what you're saying.
Okay, you know what I'm talking about. And so but they are so immersed in that culture. And if you ever have the opportunity to go to New Orleans,
it's the same as like the witch, not the Wiccan, the witch.
Yes,
that culture is the same.
Yes,
as the yes.
Yeah. And a lot of that culture comes from New Orleans, but the Wiccan in particular, like what you just said. So I mean that's a big part of it as well.
And that goes into a totally different.
Rice.
It goes into. Goes into a totally different thing what we're talking about now, but maybe leading to another subject later, magic.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Love magic.
100% believe in magic.
Big fan.
Okay? We'll talk about that more later.
I was gonna say I'm not gonna say a fucking word.
Yeah, we don't want to go. We don't go on that now.
I have
But
so much to say.
I want to.
Going into New Orleans.
I want to.
Wait. Me first.
The voodoo, the hoodoo, the hoodoo. Like it's all on there, and we'll come back to that.
Cool.
We haven't heard Tyler's experience with the paranormal.
So okay,
I want to know if you had any, and if so,
I've definitely I definitely have had more than one, but the most memorable one I'll speak on, just because the other ones are maybe kind of iffy on what I remember, or maybe kind of the facts maybe are askew.
Yeah.
But the one I remember is, so we moved into this new house, and I had a bedroom in the basement, and there was a hole in the wall, and it wasn't like a punch hole. It was like just a fucking hole. I don't know what it was. Maybe an inch by inch diameter, inch and a half maybe.
Sure.
And
like the builders were like going to put a bathroom there, but they didn't. They stopped.
Exactly. Something
so they had
weird
a hole
like
cut
that
through the drywall. Sure.
And it's definitely an old house, so that hole was new to the house. But when I moved in, that was my bedroom. And I just remember, so at first I didn't want it as my bedroom. It just was
bad
weird.
energy or what?
Yeah, just I didn't want it. I don't know. And I was let's see, how old was I? Maybe 12, 13. So it was just weird. And then but I moved in, it had to be my room, whatever, blah blah blah. And I remember that every night I would go to bed and I would wake up and my fucking bedroom light would be on every single night, and I would wake up with my bedroom light on. And I don't remember if I woke up to it turning on or if I woke up and it was on or whatever, but I distinctly remember that light being on was a bad feeling for me.
Yeah, it was unexplainable.
Yeah, and I didn't like it, and I didn't know what the fuck, and it wasn't my parents, it wasn't my grandparents, it wasn't anybody, my brothers, nobody. And I remember freaking out about it. I don't recall any other experiences, but I remember I did not like the fucking hole in my room.
Yeah.
And I pinpointed everything. It was the hole, and I didn't like the hole.
Yeah.
So I had my dad spackle the hole, texture it, and paint it over.
Mm-hmm.
We painted my whole room. We did everything right, and I never had anything again.
Really?
The lights never came on. I never felt uncomfortable again.
And,
I never felt weird ever again.
It kind of goes, as far as energy goes, energy can be reactive. So if it reacted to you trying to distance yourself from it by doing that or having your dad do that, that's interesting too.
And I remember, though, growing up a little bit, and it was after I covered the hole in the wall. My dad told me that he started seeing a little girl in his doorway.
Really?
Yeah, and he was like,
my
I
God.
never saw it, and he was like, and we covered the hole in your wall, and he was like, there's a little girl that likes to hang out in my doorway and talk to me
Holy
when I'm in
shit.
my bed. And
Let
he
me.
was like, she waves at me.
wild.
Yeah, and he literally though, like, I'm
Sorry.
getting the chills right now. He has the same problem that I had with the light. His light is just on sometimes. He
Oh
goes
my
to bed
God.
and he wakes up and his light's on.
That gives me goosebumps.
And
So-
it's like, that's just, bro, I'm getting him again.
That's dope.
It's crazy,
Oh my
dude.
God,
It's
I love
crazy.
it.
We're
Yeah.
in a. Yeah.
Can I paraphrase? Paraphrase.
You do what you got to do.
Can I paraphrase an experience of Brittany?
Yes, please. Or
That-
you can get her either way.
I don't think she'll.
She won't talk on. Yeah. Let's hear
Maybe
it.
she will. So, as far as I know, so me and Brittany, when we first met, like 2 days later, she went to California with her family on a vacation, right? They visited this haunted gravesite. It was supposedly haunted. And her dad took dirt from one of the gravestones.
Ooh, big no-no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do
Into
that.
a bag,
Leave it.
brought it home.
Don't fuck with that.
First, it was in the garage.
A sacred
And
ground.
this is completely paraphrased because
I'll never go in the
I don't
garage.
know. Yeah. Well, check this out. So it was in the garage, and like, shit was falling over, and like, nothing crazy, but like, it was all explainable type shit. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Sure.
But eventually, he
Most of it is.
eventually he cleaned up. He cleaned up the garage, and he moved stuff around. But that dirt from the gravestone had made it into the spare bedroom, right?
Okay.
Up in the closet, in a
Okay.
shoebox in the spare bedroom.
Sure.
And eventually, a couple months later on, Brittany's sister moved back into the house with her son. And the spare bedroom became her son's room. And that little boy started talking about the man with the hole in his head, just like Carter.
Bam.
This is literally where I wanted to circle back to. And he started talking about hanging out with people in the closet.
What a great
And
way to
hanging
end this.
out.
Oh my
Crazy.
God.
Literally like hanging out with this guy, and
Full circle.
then shit would start, like doors would literally be slamming, and lights would be coming on, and shit would be fucked with. And I don't know the resolve of all of this, but I know that like enough of us realized that, okay, you shouldn't have took that fucking dirt from that gravestone and shouldn't
Yeah.
have put it in this bedroom.
Right.
And I know for sure it got moved from the bedroom. I don't know to where, but I know that bedroom doesn't have that problems anymore.
Hopefully
or
back
those
to that
problems
fucking
anymore.
gravesite.
You know,
But I just, it's weird,
right,
weird
right back
shit,
to where
bro.
it was supposed to
Yeah.
be.
Literally, like weird
Hopefully
shit,
it made
Carter.
its way back home. But
I think
mean-
it's probably somewhere back in the garage.
yeah.
Can we,
We're gonna put some video to it as well.
while we're on recording, not maybe the next episode, but a future episode, I would like to plan the magic talk.
Yes. Oh God.
But
yes. We can go on forever for that.
since we
That's
kind
gonna be
of,
another long episode.
but I just realized that
I think this has been a great episode.
I think
Yeah.
this
And
has
I
been the
think,
best episode yet.
Yeah.
Carter needs to take us out.
I've had goosebumps this whole time.
Oh, bro.
Right?
Thank you, sir. You
God
did
bless.
too.
Yeah. I
Goose
love you
pimples.
guys.
Ew.
I love all you guys.
And I think Donnie said so
Podcast.
little because we took all the words out of his mouth.
Yeah.
No,
Because-
I
Yeah.
have fully agreed on everything. I love that I had the paranormal because that is where I feel I
That was
have
the best topic of the night.
The
Absolutely.
biggest,
That's my
like,
favorite.
strongest belief in. Like, I
Yeah,
believe
we-
in aliens. I believe in multiverse big time. But paranormal is just like I'm
Well,
100% in.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
right
lie.
there.
I came into this episode with. I assume these 3 topics were gonna be so different and
They're not. They
so
kinda-
whatever.
They really aren't.
But
Yeah.
literally, like, and I had my topic, which I fully believe in multiverse. But I walk out of this episode believing that paranormal is much different than multiverse.
And I have a better understanding of all of our topics because discussing them with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
You as well, Carter.
It's great. This has been fucking. This is why I podcast.
I
It's for
fucking- I
conversations
love
like
Yes,
this. This is literally what we do it for,
That's
guys.
right.
To
Yeah. Let's
Let's
fucking
go
come
full on
together.
homoerotic. I love you guys.
I love you
this
too,
episode.
Donnie.
It's
I
been
love you,
great.
Marcus.
I love all you guys.
Carter, I love you, dog.
Take us out, bro.
Love you too.
And that is the Dad Podcast for this week, number 8. Brah, brah, brah.